Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Anime Club. What's going on here? Okay, another episode of the world famous, world renowned Anime Club, Oscar winning, Grammy nominated, MTV Movie Award nominated as well, Anime Club. Tonight we're a little different because I was having some technical difficulties on Twitch, and therefore we had to move it to YouTube. So I hope everyone, who would be interested in seeing this got the notification, because we're going to be on Twitch today. I mean, on YouTube today. And actually, this is actually a great chance because some of you who know me from my YouTube streams might not know that I stream on Twitch or might not have been on my Twitch. So you might not know Break. Break, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I am known as the Break Master. I do YouTube and I also stream religiously. Religiously. So been here in the game for a minute. But that's it. That's it. We talk about anime. I talk about anime all the goddamn time. So this ain't nothing new. This is just me.
True.
Right now.
For those of you who know me from my original anime channel, I guess we were besties back then, but we knew of each other. I think we tagged each other when YouTube tags were a thing and things like that. So
Uh
kind of an OG moment right there.
yeah, we're showing our age right now. Like, oh god, tagging. Remember tagging? Like that was a thing. You could actually
Oh
put a
god.
video under another video to a response. Like, what?
That was insane.
Should
Oh
bring
yeah,
that back,
video
honestly.
responses. Yeah, that was, and that's how people would get attention. They would just video response to popular.
Yes.
Oh, YouTube has evolved, y'all. I'm telling you, crazy. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you for the hair compliments. Hello, everyone. Yes, today though, I want to just clarify, it is an anime day. I wanted to make sure we can do our anime club because last week I had to skip because I was off. Last century I had to skip because I was off. So we will get to talk about everything K-pop, everything, Twice just came back with alcohol free, y'all. It's a bop. But we'll be able to talk about that in detail next Daily Dose podcast. But today, we are doing Anime Club. So I think it would be, good since there's some new faces, to explain what Anime Club is. So, I think it was maybe a couple months ago we started this Anime Club kind of on a whim. It's just basically how you would have an anime club in school or something like that, where we all decide on an anime to watch, and then every week we, decide to watch, 3 or 4 episodes, and then the next club episode we'll discuss it in detail, what we love, what we hated, what we thought were funny, and we do that until we complete a series, and then we pick a new series. So right now we've been watching Ouran High School Host Club, a classic. um it's Break's first time watching it, actually. And I know
Yes.
a lot of
Yes.
people, it's their first time too, but we have a lot of people who also watched it before. So today in particular, sorry if you're just seeing this for the first time, because we're talking about episodes 8 to 10 today. But I mean, we can talk about it in general, in a sense, no spoilers for the end yet, but yeah. So yeah, I hope everyone, if you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, it still would be fun to stick around, because we go into a bunch of different stuff. We be talking about everything under the sun. So yeah.
There's a reason why it's called Anime Club. It's not just about that one topic. It's about many topics of just the community and anime in general. So
Facts.
stick
Facts.
around. It is fun.
So yeah, I think since we've done our introductions, it would be fun to just start off with the episode. So like I said, episode 8 through 10 this week. So let's start up with episode 8. So episode 8 is kind of a follow up to the previous episode, because it ended off with Haruhi saying she wouldn't mind to go to the beach. So that's exactly what they did. Uh, the host club gang, they yeeted to the beach. It was actually, of course, Kyoya's family's beach, because Kyoya's just
Of course.
he's a witch B word. All right. So
Oh,
so even though, they kind of initially sold it as, y'all, it's our beach episode, let's go to the beach, it turns out that in Kyoya fashion, it was kind of like a club event too. They invited some of their clientele to come to the beach with them. So it it was work and play at the same time. So it was
Yeah.
just like it was a really cute episode. You said you had a lot of notes about it. Like, is it just summary notes, or like were there like a lot of things that you're like, oh my god?
I I, I put like just too much. Like this right here alone. If you can see this, if it like
Yeah.
look, there it goes. You can kind of see. Like I just made a ton of notes for that one episode. It's a lot. I didn't mean to do it like that, but I started going in. I don't even know what the heck I'm saying in this actually.
Well, here, how
Like
about
I don't even know. Like I put horror. He saying he's flat as a board, and the twins say so. So he carefully picked out swimsuits for her. Like, why I put that there? Why I put that there? It's not sequential. Like we don't care about
I
this.
thought the swimsuit too, because that there's this part where like the twins are being kind of pervs, and they're like trying to get Haruhi to like try on these different like two-piece swimsuits. That one with the frills that they say will hide her flat chest. I remember
Yeah.
that bathing suit having like a hold on me. I wanted one like that so bad. Yeah, I thought it was so cute. Like when I watched it, I was like, "Oh my god, they're right. It's so adorable. Like it's so like uber feminine and frilly." And I like wanted something like that. It wouldn't look as good as it did on Haruhi. Let me say that on me, but I still really, really like wanted like one like that.
Hey,
So
look. Hey, you never know. You never know. All right.
thank you, Rick. Hey Christine, welcome to the stream. I did a real quick splur, but today is an anime club day, not a K-pop day. I know the thumbnail is very misleading because I couldn't change it, but we are talking about Ouran High School host club today. But yes, so yeah, they were slaying her because she's flat chested, which is like that's your fave though. Like you love her, like
It's
why?
like, so how dare you just say that about her like that? Like, what's going on here? What's
Jackie,
happening?
their shows, the twins are like the shadiest like people in that show, like just for no reason
Oh
too,
yes.
for no
But
reason.
that's why Tamaki has a problem with them in the first place. All right, like there's something going on with them. All right, I can't trust them either.
When Tamaki and the twins go at it, it's the funniest thing. Like how they're constantly just dragging each other is so funny because they're both like both drama. They're all drama queens and they're all super messy. But then it's like they come for each other's throats, and it's like that's literally your reflection. What are you talking about? But yeah.
And that is the club right there. That is the host club. Just messy. Yeah.
Essentially what happens is that at this one point they're like catching shellfish or whatever. There turns out to be a bug on the shellfish. Everyone freaks out, especially the girls there, but Haruhi, she's just like, who cares? It's a bug, it's a caterpillar. She just throws it away. So the host club's kind of like, oh my god, like you're a girl though. Like the fact that she like this doesn't phase you is really, really weird. So essentially it sparks this competition, unbeknownst to Haruhi, where the gang is going to try their best to find out what Haruhi's fear is by like scaring her and doing different things to try to get her like razzled. So for example, the twins go into a cave with her and some of the other host clients and try to like fake that there's ghosts there, but it doesn't phase her. Honey Senpai does the cutest thing where they go into like a truck and then they close it, and then he's like, aren't you afraid of the dark? And then he gets scared, so he
It's like a, what are you doing? Why would you put your own fear like on display like that? Like, come on.
I was like, I'm sorry, y'all were in there for 3 seconds. Come on, Honey Senpai. You're gonna have to do better than that. We cannot be getting scared of the
Hey,
dark.
anything could be in there though. What you talking about?
That's true. Honestly, I'm lucky. I can kind of like sympathize or whatever with Honey Senpai because I'm actually very scared of the dark. I will sleep with the
Oh,
nightlight. Yeah. Oh, yes.
oh,
Yeah, honestly.
well, I didn't know this.
Because like what you just said, like anything can happen, anything can pop up in the dark. I hate the like the not knowing of it. Like somebody might be right behind you. Or like if you're lying asleep on bed, somebody might be staring at you and you won't even know because it's just dark. So
See, now you got me concerned. All right, yeah. I don't like I don't like this type of talk right now. Let's move forward. Let's move forward. Right?
oh, okay. I don't know, maybe this is too deep, but I was going to say, what is everyone's biggest fear? Well, what is everyone's like,
Oh,
you don't have to go deep, like not like abandonment or something like that, but like, like something that like
abandon me.
if if you said people
I'm
would be
scared to
like,
be alone.
"Oh." Yeah.
Hmm.
So, Break, we'll start with you, and then chat you guys can get typing.
Interesting. Hmm. My biggest fear, huh? I mean, I don't know. You gotta really think about it. It's like maybe like unexpected death, maybe like something that's
Ah.
randomly stupid happens. Like I don't know. It's one of those fears that's like I don't want to get blindsided by something. Right? I don't want
Mm.
to know what's about to happen.
Ooh, so like knowing how like you're gonna like perish ahead of time, or like, oh, if I just would have moved 2 steps to the left, I wouldn't have gotten hit by that wooden board and died.
Exactly. Yeah, that.
That's like some Final Destination stuff. That is really scary. Now I have a new fear. Thank you.
Oh no.
No, that's
It's kind of
funny.
funny you say about Final Destination. There was actually like a tweet I saw where that exact Final Destination with the whole logs coming off the freaking back of that truck
Hmm.
and it like hit into like the this other car behind it.
Wait, it
That
happened?
actually happened. Yes, that happened for real.
Nah, y'all, I'm never driving.
It's actually legit. I was surprised. I was like, bro, what?
That's literally terrifying. That's literally my worst, like one of my top 3. Yeah, that's scary. That's why I can't watch those videos. I mean, those like movies, because that like scarred me. Whichever one I watched, I guess I watched the long one. That scarred me because that idea that like, you nearly miss death, so you have to die, and there's just gonna be all. That's really really scary. Um, I'm
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna jump in the chat real quick. Andy says, I can relate, LOL. I can't be the only one that does a double take around corners when alone at home at night. Yes. Oh my gosh.
At night.
At night. Um, when I'm like downstairs, like if I just want to grab a quick snack or water or whatever, and I'm like, I don't really want to turn on the lights because I don't want to disturb anyone. I'm literally just like Olympic
So you're
style.
one of those people that just runs upstairs, looks
Yes.
behind, just makes sure nothing behind you.
Yes, I'm a runner. I'm a track star because I'm so scared. Yeah, that somebody's gonna snatch me. Like it's oh, I hate it. I hate that. That's also why I would never live in like a big house. Like if I ever got like super rich, I would not be one of those people that buy those mega mansions because who else is living in there with me? I don't know. Like,
Be told, yeah, I probably wouldn't do that either because I don't like gigantic spaces like that, anyways. And then the echo that happens with it because
oh,
it's big. Like you hear everything when it's quiet. Like, oh god, that is kind of scary. So
that's
I can agree with that.
yeah. Um, Andy says my biggest fear would probably be being alone, but another huge fear of mine is sharks. Ooh, sharks. First of all, yeah, being alone is I can like being alone versus like feeling lonely. Like that's a lot. But yeah,
Yeah.
sharks. That I don't know. I mean, I guess it would be scary, but I've never really thought of sharks. Like I don't know. Are you scared of sharks?
Oh, I never been to a body of water like that.
Mm.
So I can't say if I am or not. I probably am. I don't know. If I have to fight that thing, I don't know. It depends. It depends.
Punch it
But I've
in.
seen Sharknado, so
Oh no.
anything is possible.
Oh no 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 no. Yeah. But yeah, I would imagine if I like actually came into contact with a shark, I would be like, "Oh my god, get me out of here."
Yeah, exactly. Like anybody would probably freak out if they saw a shark coming right at them. Like, I mean, it's a goddamn shark. Come
Yeah.
on now.
Nobody would just start sipping tea and be like, "Oh, okay, that's cute." A whole shark.
Oh yes, I feel shark has come through. Let me pet him real quick. Like,
Yeah. Um Andre says mine is high heights or being a disappointment. I love how you guys do like a physical one and then like a, deeper one.
yeah,
Yeah, are you
yeah.
afraid of heights?
Not at all, actually.
Oh
When I was
wow.
younger, that was like one of the things that I was doing a lot. I was climbing on trees, climbing on top of freaking rooftops and all that crap. Like,
Oh no, come through India
there's a
mountains.
limit. There is a limit, though.
Mm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so like okay, like there's that building. I don't know where it is, if it's like in Tokyo or Toronto or something, where it's like a really really high building, and then when you get to the top, the floor is completely glass. So you can see like the would you do that? And to chat too, would you do something like that? Or specifically to
I mean,
Andre?
I know there's glass, and we're in a building. Actually, I'd be fine. It'd be a different story if I was like standing on like a beam or something. Like I've seen those
Ah.
videos where these suckers like, yeah, doing something like that. I don't know about that. That's my limit. I ain't trying to do all that now. But
Mm.
that with the glass and everything, because I'm in a building and there's gonna be other people too. If I fall, we all fall. So hey, like it's not so
Oh,
bad then.
yeah,
I just gotta know. Like I told you, like I gotta know.
that you're safe. Yeah. Well, okay, so if you had the beam and it was still like a high up beam, but there was like a safety net on the bottom. So you would still fall considerably, but you would be, you wouldn't die with that, or like a bungee jump thing.
I've done something like that, and yeah, that again, there's a certain limit of height that will get me, and
Mm-hmm.
that will get me. I'm like, all right, I'm scared now. Let me down. I don't want to be a part of this ride no more.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think for me it's like um I definitely was kind of like you when I was younger, like jumping off of things and backflipping off of like the roof and stuff. But then when I got a
What's
bit
that?
older, I think my fear of planes, this is going to get dark, started with, I don't want to get that dark, but a thing that happened, like infamous plane crash. 9/11,
Oh,
let me just say it. Yeah, 9/11, that started, that freaked me out, and so I started getting a fear of planes and planes and crashing, and then it was like, oh, okay, heights are actually kind of scary. But the thing is, I'll go on roller coasters and stuff like that, but I definitely would be freaked out by that glass building thing. Definitely would be freaked out about bungee jumping. Also, I'm like a disasterist, if that's a thing. So like I would be like, oh, this is gonna snap if I go on. Like I believe it's going to snap. Snap,
I
not in a fun
mean,
way.
hey, you never know with these things because you have to rely on the human creating that created that them actually setting up properly because people be messing up all the time. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
It's that unknown factor that gets you scared in the first place.
You're right. It's scaring me now. But like the thing is, you have to be careful though, because if you take that kind of thinking with you everywhere, it's like, oh, what if the roof in my house, like the person who originally like designed it, didn't design it to last that long, so it could cave in on me. What if it like actually did? And I'm just like, okay, but it could cave in on me at any time or whatever. So it's really really scary. Um, yeah.
I shouldn't be saying this right now. Goodness gracious. I'm moving right now. We're having a house built for us right now.
Oh, nice.
What if those people ain't building it properly? You see, you never
No,
know,
don't think
guys.
that way. Now I'm scared for you too. Oh no. Well, I'm just hoping that if something bad does happen, an ancestor or something will push me out of the way of harm last minute. So then I'm in a Final Destination movie, and so I'm gonna
And there it
death
is.
is chasing me. Building or the Grand Canyon. Oh, so like something like standing on a really high ledge in the Grand Canyon. Like you technically aren't
Hmm.
necessarily like in danger, but somebody could push you.
But see, don't have that kind of thinking. God dang. See, you just got someone that wants to freaking murder you. Why you had that person there with you then?
You never know. Keep your enemies close or your friends close, your enemies closer. So it could be a fake friend.
That's a messed up fake friend. It said finally, this is finally a time to end you.
An elaborate plan to get you to the Grand Canyon to push you off.
I hope you know how to fly.
Christine says, I don't like them much, but I find that I get motion sickness with certain roller coasters, so I tend to stay away from them. Oh, yeah. It really depends. Like, there's some that are, like, fun, and then there's some that I feel like are just designed to, like, freak you out. So I'm just like, well, I don't want this. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel
I
kind
haven't
of
been on
like,
many roller coasters in my life, so I can't really fully say on that. But I know there are some that just be doing way too much,
right?
right?
Why do I gotta go upside down twice? Like, once is enough. All right. I get it. Upside down. Okay. Like,
Upside down, left and right, doing freaking 360s, like it jumping off to another freaking track. Like,
it's
come
too
on,
much. It's
come
too
on.
much. There's a or you guys probably have seen it, but there's a YouTube channel called Defunct Land where they talk about like old amusement parks and rides and stuff like that. And one of the things they do sometimes is like highlight like, the crazy history of like roller coasters and parks and stuff like that. And the way that these like some of these roller coasters be giving people whiplash, be causing bodily harm. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I don't trust it. I don't trust anything. Yeah, so yeah. Ooh, a Defunctland fan. Yes, Andy. Yeah, I watched a lot of their stuff. Do you know what Defunctland is?
No, I actually never messed with that channel, so I don't know.
Oh, it's really, really good. It definitely was like a binge, channel for me during like quarantine. But yeah, it's just like they go through like different like, old music parks and things like that. Like they did like the Nick Hotel, like that hotel with like the slime thingy and all that stuff, and like kind
Yeah,
of what happened. It's really cool. Sometimes it's sad, sometimes it can be
interesting.
scary. Yeah, but it's I think it's a cool channel. Um, but yeah.
But let's get back on track
Yeah, I was gonna
with this
say.
anime club because we went way off the rails. All right, you say we're talking about roller coasters. We're on a roller coaster right now. We're somewhere else entirely.
That's anime clip for y'all. But yeah, so back to what we were talking about. The gang devised this contest where they want to see who can actually find Haruhi's fear. So like I said, twins try to scare her with ghost, Honey tries to scare her with darkness. Mori Senpai literally just holds his spear up to her throat and is like, is this doing anything for you? And she's just like,
Oh, okay. So I was actually really confused on what was happening there because I was like, am I supposed like, is she, like, how you supposed to get afraid? I'm confused. I was like,
I assumed
what?
he was threatening to stab her, which I was like, whoa, take it easy, man. Like, what,
Hey, can I
Tony?
do anything?
But she like made like a pun. And then it, like Tamaki, obviously being the drama queen he is, he gets like these rat snakes and like is about to unleash them on her, but like the twins let him know that they're poisonous. But while that's all happening, Haruhi's kind of just chilling on the beach catching crabs. And she notices that some of the host club clients are kind of chilling on this really, really high rock. And they're like, Haruhi, come up here. Like, the breeze is great. And they want to hang out with her, right? So while they're up there, these like weird, really creepy, skeevy, sketchy guys approach them. And they're like, hey, ladies, you want to party with us? That kind of vibe. And they're like, ew, no, like, how are you even here? This is a private beach, get out of here. And so like they become like a lot more aggressive. And so
Actually, wait. Yeah, wait a minute. How were they there?
I you know what, Kyoya's shady self, he probably saw that happen. He was like, anyway, like, how he's always just like
Yeah.
turning a blind eye. I blame Kyoya. I don't know how they got there, honestly. They're just like, we're here
Oh my no
now.
goddamn. But I mean, again, he probably planned this or something. I don't know. He's very devious.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, I don't like think it's like in a like malicious way. I think he's just one of those people that like is bored and likes to be entertained. Like, so he's like,
Oh yes.
yeah, let me do this messy thing that could end tragically. Maybe not. I wouldn't want it to end tragically, but I'm bored and I want to see, like, yeah, he's very devious. I feel like everyone in the host club, well, no. I think Kyoya and the twins have like very mischievous sides to themselves.
Yes, yes. They,
But
they
yeah.
they like they like to cause mayhem.
Yeah.
Controlled mayhem, but mayhem nonetheless.
I think that's with Kyoya too. Like, even though he's bored, he wants to see what happens. I think he knows at the end of the day, like, nothing, like, he's gonna stop if something actually like physically harming
Yeah.
like one of the members happens. So yeah, but he's messy. They're all like messy. It's a messy club.
Oh yes.
So yes, Haruhi notices that these girls are being assaulted, so she like throws something at one of the guys, and she's like, leave them alone and stuff like that. And so essentially it gets really, really heated to the point where one of the guys like, actually like manhandles her and is like threatening to throw her off like this side of the side of the cliff. And then so one of the other girls who was originally being assaulted runs for help. And she gets Tamaki and the twins, and so they run up to help as this man is pushing Haruhi off a cliff. Sorry,
Oh
that
yeah.
yeah.
Was not a threat. That's like I said, sayonara. I was like, bro,
Literally,
huh? We're killing people now. Okay.
I'm
All
like,
right.
isn't that serious? Like, did you want to date them girls or get with them girls that bad that you're killing people now? We're just pushing people. Okay. But yeah, so he yeets Haruhi off the side of this cliff, and Tamaki, very heroically jumps in after her. Luckily, the cliff ended in like an ocean, like it was like over the ocean, so it's not like she would land on the floor. But she goes in the ocean, he goes and saves her, and we get like this scene, kind of romantic, of him like carrying her to the shore. So he's pissed when like she comes to. He's pissed and he essentially starts like scolding her and asking why she would go up against those guys, why she thinks as a girl she would stand a chance between against two boys. And she's just kind of like, it shouldn't matter whether I'm a girl or not. Like, those girls were in danger, there wasn't enough time to call anyone, so I decided to help them. But he again is like, don't forget, like, you're a girl. And so they're like kind of pissed at each other. She's like, why are you mad? He's like, you're this like frustrated me, you need to apologize, or if you can't admit what you did was wrong, I'm just not going to talk to you. So Tamaki of all people was like, I'm not going to talk to you, Haruhi. I was like, we'll see how long this lasts.
It did not last very long. Cause like, come
Right.
on now, you know you ain't gonna be able to hold out. It's like, wait, who you playing? Who you playing? Come
Right.
on.
I was like, okay, he's just being dramatic. But I put a pin in that right here because we do get into this discussion or like debate where like Tamaki's saying that she was wrong to have done that, and Haruhi's kind of being like, I don't know what your problem is. I don't know what I did wrong. What did you think about this scene?
It was very interesting because this also ties into the next episode as well because this is the whole theme apparently of this stream that's about to happen here. But I'm just I was like like after I got done watching the episode, I understand like both sides
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day, I feel like Hari wasn't necessarily wrong in what she did,
Mm-hmm.
especially considering that she's a club member too. Like, why wouldn't a club member try to actually stop this stuff from happening? You know what I mean? That actually makes the club even look good. You know what I'm saying? So that's besides the point. It's the fact that at the end of the day, you've got goons, right? You got goons
Mm-hmm.
attacking these ladies. You're gonna try to do something. You should actually instinctively try to help if that's what you're going. You know, that's what you should do. You
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't just like wait for something bad to happen. Like what? I
Exactly.
mean, yeah, you can call them, but what if they're not fast enough? You
Mm-hmm.
never know. So it's like you do want to kind of step in. So I actually appreciate the fact that she did take those steps to do that. Yes, she's a female, but that shouldn't matter. And that's the thing that was bothering me the most with it, because it's like this dude Tamaki was kind of being a little sexist a little bit. It's like, you a female, you can't do this. What you talking about? You don't got the strength to fight these. And now technically, yeah, those guys I guess are kind of strong, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But even then, it's like at least she stood up and try to take this on. He should have been proud of her, is what I'm saying. Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah,
Honestly,
exactly.
goddamn opinion.
I could see him being worried, but this whole stance he took where you need to apologize to me because you made me worry was very like selfish and weird. Like I was like, okay, yes, she might have put herself in harm's way by trying to take over on two like sketchy, like bigger guys, but like you making it this thing where she needs to like say sorry or needs to admit she's wrong was like kind of overstepping the boundary, I think. And I know Tamaki has this whole thing where he's like, oh, I'm your father, but it's like, okay, you're not actually her father, so she doesn't actually owe you anything in terms of that. But I did want to touch on what you were saying about how like he made it like a men versus woman thing. So I do distinctly remember like in the first thing he kind of says is that, oh, you're not like a martial artist expert like Honey Senpai. And I was like, that's true. Like if you can't fight and you were trying to fight, why are you trying to fight? But then when he turned it into like a woman or it versus men thing, it definitely did. I don't want to say trigger me because I don't know if that's, but I think like I've had like it kind of just reminded me as my experience as like a woman and people telling me I couldn't do things specifically because it wasn't safe for like a woman to do. Like for example, I'm an older sister, like I have a younger brother, so it was kind of weird seeing how he got to navigate like staying out late at night or like
Mm,
having a longer curfew or being able to go on certain trips that like I
Goodness
wasn't
gracious.
allowed
Not
to.
this.
Yeah, I was allowed to because I was a girl, and it was like, well, there people are going to attack you and people are going to do this and that. And I feel like literally when Haruhi was like it shouldn't matter, like I was like, are you me? Because I just remembered like it reminded me of like a younger me being like why does it matter, like why is it my fault, like why am I being treated this way or yelled at because of what other people are trying to do to me. And it just made me very, I don't want to say like uber feminist or whatever, but it just like really made me like frustrated, like those kind of things. um and so I definitely saw where Haruhi was coming from, but I also saw Tamaki's side too, in the sense that he was worried, and he was like, you should have called for help or something like that. But
Yeah,
yeah.
because that's one of her biggest things about her that we're learning about with these episodes here is the fact that always super independent of herself and she doesn't really rely on anybody,
Mm-hmm.
not father, nobody else, like nobody really. So she doesn't think to even attempt to try to like ask for help when she should have. Like she knows she probably couldn't handle those guys, but she was gonna try anyways. But
Mm-hmm.
she could have at least did something to get their attention. Is the whole thing.
Yeah. But I can also see like she's like if she thought that like running away and getting for help might leave those girls in danger, she wasn't gonna do that. And I think that's like super admirable. And like you said, he should have been applauding her because that's super admirable of the fact that she tried to hold her own as much as possible. And like, yeah, Haruhi, we already know she doesn't care about boy, girl, whatever. So like trying to like use that reasoning with her, I feel like was just kind of just useless for like Tamaki to try to make it like a woman man thing.
Yeah,
Because that that's not how she thinks or operates. So um
facts.
Andre says, "Why do they keep treating her like this dating thing? What was what she did a bit reckless? Yes, but at the same time, where were they? She actually attempted to do something exactly. And again, like you pointed out, she is a host club member, so like any other host
Hmm.
club member would have done, she tried her best to protect the clients. Um,
Exactly. That's like one of the other biggest points with it is like, okay, let's say Tamaki was it was like the roles reversed or Tamaki or the twins. Anybody else was there, would they have not tried to actually help at that point as a host club member? Just in general, like they would always try to do that then. So
mhm.
it's like you should expect her to actually make that effort to try to help because she's still disguising herself as a boy in the first place, right?
That
So
too. Yeah. It's like he was very I felt Tamaki was being very selfish during that part. Okay,
very,
I'm gonna read Andy's comment and then jump back into the summary. Andy says, "Yeah, I understand Tamaki was trying to point out that she had good intentions and that's admirable, and he was worried, but she did the right thing even though she put herself in danger." I agree. Like, I
yeah.
agree. And I just feel like out of everyone who should be like, "You owe me an apology," I just don't get that like thought from Tamaki. Um, but yeah, so at this point, Tamaki and Haruhi aren't speaking to each other because he's mad. So at the end of the day, they all have dinner together. They had been like collecting shellfish and crab and things like that. So for dinner, they were able to have that. And so the atmosphere is super awkward because everyone knows that the two aren't talking to each other, but they're like sitting right next to each other,
Yeah,
which
that's what I understand. It's like, why are they sitting next to each other with this whole situation happening?
that had
Like,
Kyoya written
what?
all over it. I was like, Kyoya probably did the seating arrangement, and he was like, "Let me, for maximum drama, let me be
Like,
messy."
Koi, he literally could have switched seats with Tamaki. Honestly, that's the funny thing. Like, you can see, like, he's way over there on the other side. Like, come on, man,
He's here for
you
the
little punk.
mess. He's here for the mess and only the mess. So essentially, um, Haruhi's like, "Okay, stay mad, but I'm finna eat these crabs." So she's just cracking away at these crab legs, and it's really,
Can we
really
talk about the
good.
technique that she had? By the way, like,
Right?
it was just too good. Like, I wish I could crack crab legs like that so easily and just get all the meat. Like, how,
The way she
how,
was
how
cleaning
you
those
do
crabs,
this?
exactly. I was like, the way she was cleaning them crabs, I was like, all right, Arnie. She was getting the full meat and everything. I was like, all right, she's a expert. But yeah,
Apparently,
yeah. So I forget exactly what she says, but something happens where like I don't. Oh, he says something to her, and then she's like, I thought you weren't talking to me. So he gets in his fifis and then he like kind of just like dips out. But like then she kind of has this epiphany where she's like, maybe he's right. Like maybe I need to have like a proper way to protect myself because like it's not like I could actually fight. Like even if I was trying to, protect the girls, like I couldn't really do anything. So Honey kind of chimes in and he's kind of like, well, the thing is like we were all worried and the twins also chime in. I think Kyoya's there too, but they're like, yeah, you really
yeah.
did make us worry because we like didn't know what was gonna happen. And Honey even says that he feels that she needs to apologize for making everyone worry. And I was just like,
I mean, you can apologize for that one moment there. Yeah, you can apologize. You made everybody worry. I can understand that, but you don't need to apologize for what she did, though. That's the difference. Because she's still not wrong in what she did. Okay, but she can apologize like, all right, I should have made y'all worry like that, but I'm still not wrong in what I did because I still try to save those girls.
I, I would even go a step further and say, I don't think she needs to apologize. Like I would say, giving an apologize to Honey, the twins, Morty, Kyoya. I guess yes, but I don't like the way that Tamaki like
Yeah,
demanded
I didn't
it.
like how Tamaki did it either, so I wouldn't necessarily apologize to him either. Honestly,
Yeah,
I didn't. He
like
was a little too much.
exactly. Like apology like that for making you worry. That should come from a heart. It shouldn't be like a heart. The heart. Like it shouldn't be like you demand an apology for me, so I'm gonna give it to you because I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Like no. Like yeah. I feel like it's too much centering of himself. Um. But yeah. Yeah. Um, but yeah,
So there's
so
another scene that ends up happening in this episode.
oh yes.
Just jump right into it right now, right? Freaking, it was Koya, right? If
Yeah,
I'm not mistaken.
kill ya.
Yeah, he ended up, I guess, trying to make another point,
Mhm.
and again, this is what I'm saying. This episode is weird, and I don't know. I mean, I understand why he did it,
Mhm.
but he didn't have to do that. So
Yeah.
they're in the room together, Koya and Haruhi, and he ends up turning off the lights, and she's like, "Why you turn off the lights?" He ends up grabbing her, putting her on the bed. He has a
Yeah.
shirt. He has a shirt off, by the way, mind you, too. That's the thing. So he out here getting on top of her, and he's just like trying, I guess, put fear in her. Like, you like, hey, I'm a man. I got needs, and I'm sitting like, bro. I saw through that too, because he ain't gonna do nothing. But
Yeah.
it's like, bro, why you gotta try to like that, like, rape fear in there all of a
Yeah.
sudden? It's like, I don't know, because I know you're trying to make the difference between a male and female and all that crap, and I was like, bro, this I don't necessarily agree with what you're doing here.
Mhm.
Again, that's one of those things that kind of bothered me a little bit, because he was trying to improve the point of what Tamaki was trying to say, but it's just like I just don't like how he tried to go about that. But what do you think of it?
So yeah, I thought it was very interesting. So yeah, like we have the scene where Kyoya, he's like trying to come off as like, "Oh, you let your guard down around me. Like here you go. Like I'm shirtless and you waltz in here with like your nightgown." Or well, he didn't say this exactly, but it was like the vibe.
Yeah,
And you think you assume you're safe with me, but if I wanted to, I could overpower you. And it was kind of like you said, it was kind of like him trying to expand on Tamaki's point that because you're a girl, there's gonna be guys with bad intentions that can overpower you and overtake you. So you can't like. And the thing is, it gets a little victim blamey because it's like you can't put yourself in these situations, but I also kind of understand because it's just like, oh, you have to make sure you're watching your back because you'll come across people who don't have your best intentions and things like that. And now, like, Haruhi was like, oh, you ain't gonna do anything, move. But like, in that case, he was trying to prove that point. It was very aggressive, and I'm like, are you the one to like demonstrate this kind of point to her? Like, I don't think so. But it did. I mean, it seemed to click for her. Like she was like, oh, okay, I kind of understand
yeah,
what.
yeah. I mean, I understand. Like, hey, you need to at least be aware of situations like this. Don't just come in there and just with just anybody, because you already know, like, not everybody has good intentions for you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like I don't understand the lesson here. It's just that we're going a little extreme here with this lesson at the same
Yeah.
time. So I don't know. It's interesting with what they're trying to do here and what they're portraying, and it just, I don't know.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It's a
I guess
lot.
I see it, but it was a lot. I'm gonna jump into chat real quick. Andre says, "Yeah, she could apologize, but again, it's not like they were anywhere near to give her backup. How did these guys even get on the beach anyway on their watch? They owe her an apology. True. Kyoya's family owes her an apology because how are these thugs
Facts,
here
facts.
to begin with?
You know what's even funnier? Remember, they had actually. I just remembered they had the defense force there too. They were actually the ones that supplied the crab in the first place. So where were they? We had the whole defense force here.
Bye. Oh my, Kyoya, sue the company. Class action lawsuit. Haruhi, I'll be your
Oh,
lawyer. Mess. Andy says Kyoya playing devil's advocate. Yeah, I think he definitely. And
pretty
it's
much.
funny because he's like backing up Tamaki, his mommy, to his daddy. So they're playing parent. They're playing good parent, bad parent. But Alexander says think it was necessary. So specifically the
Hmm.
example that Kyoya like did. He thought it was necessary to get through to her. I mean, I guess it was one of those things where she definitely was.
Hmm.
I mean, she was kind of teetering at the dinner. It seemed like she was like, okay, I kind of get what they're saying or whatever. But I feel like maybe Kyoya's example was like, oh, a bit of like
Maybe, maybe,
sympathy for
maybe.
her.
And she's a smart girl, so it's not like she wouldn't
True.
realize it. Maybe, but I mean, look, at the end of the day, it did click for her. It did work. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who am I to say?
Mm-hmm. Christine says it might be because although I'm not Japanese, I'm Asian. I can't really explain it, but my family and I tend to apologize for things you don't really need to. Oh yeah, I did see somebody said it
That's
might
true
have been a
too, actually.
cultural thing. Oh, That's true. Maybe there's a. I was definitely watching the English version, so if there's any like extra context in terms of like, I don't know, translators notes or something in the subtitles, I maybe missed that. But yeah, that's something I didn't consider. Maybe it's like a cultural thing where it's like you
You know,
maybe.
that's actually funny. We should have said that. We're watching the dub of Ouran Host Club. Just want to throw that out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, got to hear the OG classic.
um. Yeah, Christine continues, I've had friends tell me not to apologize for things, and it makes no sense to me because it's almost normal for me to be. Oh, wow, that's definitely like a
Yeah.
different perspective where it's like maybe being apologetic is like more of a cultural thing. Yeah, I never thought of that. Thanks, Christine.
Me either,
Um,
actually. Interesting.
Andre says, I feel like it was his way of trying to prove a point. Or I feel like his way of trying to prove a point was high key unnecessary. Like it was very uncomfortable, but maybe he knew that Haruhi would like be like, all right,
Yeah,
like,
I mean, again, she's very strong willed, so it's not like she's
yeah.
gonna just like, oh no,
But it
like
was a
she already knows code. Like she's not gonna do nothing. Like, come on
but
now,
it was a
come on.
gamble though, because it could easily be like, okay, maybe I know you're not gonna do anything, but also this is not it, so
It's
we're gonna
true.
take like a
And we don't. It's not like he knows everything about Haruhi like that. Anyways, you don't know exactly everything that happened in her past. This could have
exactly,
triggered something.
exactly. Oh my god, that is a great point. Like you don't really know. Um, yeah. And Christine says, I've gotten better about it as I've gotten older, but it's still a habit to have. Well, that was definitely something I didn't like consider that it might just be like a thing. And
Yeah, that could be what it is.
yeah, and it seemed like she kind of leaned towards like being up by the end being more apologetic about the incident and understanding where they were coming from at the end. So I can definitely see maybe that's where she was like leaning towards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So that's pretty much episode 8, or was it something else that was there? I
you're
can't remember
missing
actually.
the iconic scene. So the whole thing with her and Kyoya kind of resolves, and so Kyoya leaves, and then Tamaki comes in, and he's like about to like try to freak out because it's very. She's on his bed, he's shirtless, and he's like, "What are you doing?" But Kyoya's like, "Shut up," and he just like leaves. So essentially it kind of comes to this conclusion. It kind of comes full circle too, because it's raining and thundering outside. And like Tamaki comes to kind of talk to Haruhi, and they kind of like, have a heart to heart. And then like he's about to leave, and she's like, don't leave, because she's very scared of the thunder and rain. And she's trying to like not be so obvious about it, and she's kind of like, oh, I have things to attend to in this cupboard, so I'm just gonna go in this closet. And he's like, what are you doing? And so he puts two together, and he's like, oh, you're very scared of the thunder and lightning. And she's just like, yeah, it's fine, you can go, like I'm just gonna deal with it myself, like I always have. And like that literally broke my heart, and I'm
True,
not
true.
even like as
Yeah.
obsessed with Haruhi as Tamaki, but it was just kind of like, coming to like learn more about her and how she is. And like Tamaki makes this connection. He's like, wow, you've always been alone and had to deal with these things alone, so that's why, one, you decided to try to fight those scary guys by yourself, and now you're not being straightforward from the fact of the fact that you're scared of this thunder and the rain, so you're going to try to deal with yourself. And it was just very, very romantic. You get the scene where he like opens up the closet, and he's like, I'm going to make sure you never have to be alone again. And you have the iconic as it's thundering, as it's lightning, her jumping into his arms and leaning on her, and just like that moment. And it's just very, 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 very beautiful.
Forget. How'd I forget? What am I doing? I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right.
To be fair,
That was a great moment.
that moment has been etched in my heart since I was like 13. So like I will never forget
Is
it.
is that something you want to do? You want to come out the
Yes,
closet
I
and
was
just give a
like
big old hug?
that's like that was my standard for romance when
Oh
I was like
snaps!
in middle school.
That's a
Yeah.
high standard right there.
Yeah. Right? Anime ruined romance for me. But yeah, so it's like a really, really beautiful episode. And it ends on a funnier note, I think, because at the end
Yeah,
he's like blindfolding her, and they all walk in on it, and they're like, are you trying to do some pervy S&M thing? And so of course you gotta have that
got
funny.
earplugs and everything.
Yeah.
It's like a what?
Yeah, so it ends like a really funny note, which I feel like Ouran High School is so good at like switching between like something heartfelt and something hilarious. Like they're so good at that. That's why I love the show so much. Um, but yeah, I really, really
It
liked
was
it.
a banger of an episode.
It definitely
I will admit.
was. It definitely was. We got to learn more about Haruhi and kind of her, how reasons, what motivates how she is and stuff. And I thought it was just really, really, yeah.
It was
Christine
good.
says, "Can you imagine?" She just starts laughing at him. Like, imagine he was like, she was like, "Girl, no." Like, that'd be wild. That'd be a different kind of anime. But yeah, so that's episode 8. Yeah, good episode, banger. It was a banger. So yeah, I guess we
Danny,
can.
see, that's so many sound effects.
I
I
can
messed
make them
up.
with my mouth though. But yeah, so
Amazing, amazing.
wah wah wah. So yeah, I guess we can jump right into episode 9. Episode 9, we meet the Lobelia Girls Academy girls. Um, my notes
This
about this,
episode.
yeah, is all over the place. But for like a short synopsis, Ouran High School Host Club is hosting this cultural club exposition, which is where other schools come and like put on like performances and things like that, and they basically just exchange arts and things like that with other schools. So it's like a big event, right? And so during this whole thing, we meet the Lobelia. What is it? The Lobelia Girls Academy, specifically
Yeah.
3 members of what's called the Zuka Club. And essentially, the Lobelia Girls Academy is an all girls academy that's just like women are it. Screw men. Like they're like
Yeah,
men who?
pretty much.
Like
Ridiculous. I was like, yo, wait, okay, this we're going all in on this now whole thing here. Okay, all
so
right.
they were like
I
girl
look forward to it. See what's
power.
going on here.
Yeah, it was
Was kind
very.
of I was gonna throw this out here with this though. When it comes to the Lobelia Girls Academy, there was a depiction for them in this episode that I was really shocked by. I had to make a big note for this one because I didn't see this coming.
Mm-hmm.
But when they were showing them like being all dressed up and like talking about the club and everything,
Mm-hmm.
there was a moment where they dressed up like freaking Nazi soldiers and did the salute.
Oh yeah, I was like, fast forward. Like, I
Oh
was like,
shit!
what?
I paused the video watching it and I was like, "What?" It's like I understand. Look, all right, be out here they hating on the men, women are number one. I understand that, but I don't think this is the same level as that. I was like, it's like a
Yeah.
what?
I was like, let's not use that imagery. Like, yeah, we don't have to use that imagery to get it. Yeah, I was honestly Orange could be wildin'. Even like Tamaki, there is one point when the girls are talking about like, oh, like, it's like for girls, by girls, men are dirt. Like, and she was like, even when it comes to romance, it's girls only. And then he's like, what? Girls aren't supposed to be girls. Like he said like some mad homophobic
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, true.
And I was like, Tamaki about to be canceled. Like what? Like, oh, what are you even talking about? Like it was messy.
So you
Yeah.
say you can't have like a true relationship with 2 females. I was sitting here like, you can,
Yeah.
sir.
I was like, Tamaki, let's introduce you to some things. Like I was like, yeah, so it was like, okay, but essentially the Zuka Club, they feel like the Ouran High School host. Well, specifically, they've come to kind of fancy Haruhi. She's like going on an errand, getting instant coffee for the Ouran High School Host Club, and while she's out, the main head honcho Benny Bara, she spots Haruhi and saves her from falling, and then kind of like starts to fancy her. And so essentially what happens is that they kind of meet the host club. They're like laughing at them, saying they're flops, talk up their school, and they're basically just like, Haruhi, you should transfer to this school. Like it's awesome. We're all girls. Like we never like there's like because we're all girls, there's none of that like sexist inequality where people are telling you you're less than because X, Y, and Z or whatever. So you should come. And so like you would think, Haruhi's homegirls with the Ouran High School Club, like that's not going to happen. However, she learns that apparently Kyoya has been auctioning off her things for profit for the house club, and stuff that he's like literally swiping for her and from her and selling. So she gets really really angry because apparently everyone knew this was happening but her. So that, and like at the end of that day, she's kind of like, you know what, maybe like I have things to think about, because if you're out here stealing my stuff, that's like really like, that's an invasion of my privacy and things like that. So yeah. But like it turns out that like she doesn't leave. She was never gonna leave.
Nah,
um
she wasn't gonna leave. She is upset about that, but she wasn't gonna leave. Come
yeah.
on, like that's that's the group right there. Not to mention, she's like she went to that school specifically for a certain reason, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously she's gonna want to stay there regardless of the invitation, which was a nice invitation and all. But
Yeah.
yeah, no.
Yeah. And there's even a part where the host club, they're like, perhaps she would be better off in the all girl school. We're clowns. Oh, but no, they're like, yeah, perhaps, she would. But it's so funny because they're like, wow, like that would be a great environment. She would thrive there. How do we sabotage it so she doesn't actually end up going there? And so they do this elaborate plan where they dress up as women, and they kind of have like, the next time she comes back, they kind of have this idea that like, oh, we understand that you're missing like that sisterly bond you would feel at like an all girl school, but just know with the host club you have brothers and sisters. So and she's
We
like,
can do both. Let's
exactly.
go.
She said, why not? They said, why not both? And so yeah, she just kind of laughs at it, and she's like, y'all are something else. But she was like, I was never gonna leave, so unfortunately I'm stuck here. But she was like, oh, okay. But then the like Benny Barra, the girl, the Lobelia girl, she's kind of like, well, Haruhi, you might have decided to stay here, but like this place is floppy, so we're not gonna stop until we, eventually get you to transfer. So it's a bit of a rivalry there that we end
Yeah,
off
I
with.
am curious if they're gonna actually come back later in like later episodes, given what they just said.
I don't remember if they do. I feel like there's probably some type of callback like towards the end. When things wrap up and they want to like, oh, this is the journey we've been on. Like let's like, kind of do like a back from like have everyone from old episodes and things like that come back. I think that might be a thing, but I'm not sure if they play like an actual like big part.
Mm,
Yeah.
interesting. I'm about to wait and see.
I'm sorry, I'm just reading the chat.
Yeah, go ahead.
Andy says, Kyoya, capitalist king. He's about the coin.
It's all about the money. Like you're gonna find any way to make the money. That's what he's doing, right? He's smart. He's smart. We need to
True.
do that.
Honestly, he needs to be our manager. Come through. But yeah. Was there anything that particularly stood out to you? I thought it was an interesting episode. About
It
the
was
journey.
interesting, and like I said, it kind of played on some of the issues that was going on with the last episode, actually, with kind of the sexist stuff that's happening. So they kind of like played upon that
Mm-hmm.
heavier within this episode to kind of really, put it out there and talk about this topic actually. And it was it was interesting how they went about it and how they kind of deal with it and everything like that. This show is very wild
Yes.
with how they tackle issues because like there's an issue, there's something that actually happens in this episode that then transfers to the next episode that they're about to talk about too, which is very interesting when it comes to like Haruhi's father. It's
Mm-hmm.
there's like show. Why no one tell me about the show doing all this? This I don't know. There's not like any other anime like it that does
Yeah.
this type of like talk about these type of topics and handling it pretty well for the most part too. So I don't know. It's blowing me away a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many like just how they handle like gender and gender stereotypes and things like that. Like it's like I don't even think it's like they're trying to be progressive. They're just showing a different frame of things. Like, and it's very really like really really refreshing for something that was like came out like over like 15 years ago. Like it's so like even today it's so refreshing. So I definitely think, you got to commend it for that. A couple things I did want to point out is in the very beginning, and I feel like this was like they talked about it for 2 seconds and then just kind of gloss over it. There were two clients or host girls. I don't even know what you clients sound so formal, but two of the girls who were visiting the host club, and they're talking about how ever since Haruhi came, the twins
Oh yeah,
have
true.
kind of been like, a lot brighter. And I just thought it was nice to get like another perspective of like how the twins used to be, like when they were younger and how they're a bit closed off and only to themselves. And it was actually interesting because the girls talked about how like it was kind of the host club, like the formation of the host club that brought them out of their shell. But then Haruhi's just like her existence has made it so they're actually trying to reach out to people and talk to people and stuff like that. And I thought that was just very, very sweet.
Yeah.
That they put
Haruhi
that.
is the game changer that they all needed in the host club apparently because
Right?
the twins are a whole different character now. Like everybody gets to actually see the actual personality. That's pretty much what's happening now.
Mm-hmm.
They're not really closing themselves off like that anymore. So maybe their circle can be actually wider because they were talking about how Haruhi's like the first one to kind of like know the difference between them, between the twins themselves and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we might find some other people that can do the same thing. So
That's true. That's true. Uh, hey y'all. Sorry, I'm just reading chat. Leon says, "Hey y'all. Sorry I'm late. I was taking a test for my summer class. You're never late, guys. You come on time. When you come, that's the right time. I hope that's not like kicking your butt because the sad face is making me feel like it was kicking my butt. But hopefully you did well. But yeah. Welcome to the stream. Where it's an anime stream tonight, so it's a bit different. We are having some technical difficulties on my Twitch channel, so we just came over here to do our anime club, and so far it's been great.
yeah,
um,
yeah, it's been pretty darn good. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far.
yes, and all the people who are newer to anime club and maybe don't make it usually, hopefully this is the thing you might want to participate in. But yeah.
That is a question we're gonna have for you guys later, like once we get done with this whole anime club thing. So we need to do a poll, maybe get that ready. We'll
Ooh,
see.
I don't know how to do polls on YouTube, but we'll do like I'll just count them in chat. Because that's another thing about Twitch versus YouTube. There's some stuff that I still have to figure out how to do on YouTube, like import it from Twitch. But yeah, it seems very, very smooth. All right. So the very last episode was episode 10, and this is probably one of my favorite episodes. I think it's hilarious. The gang visits Haruhi's house. Which was a thing back in the
Finally.
twins. Yeah, because in the twins episode a couple episodes ago, that was one of the things they wanted to do. So this all gets jump started by the fact that Tamaki, the original stunt queen, he has this dream that the gang they visit Haruhi's house, and she's just living in poverty. Even though she goes to school fine, for some reason she's starved when they see her at her house. It's in shambles. She talks
It's
about
all up front, apparently.
yeah, exactly. She has like broken plates and things like that. And she talks about how like she and her dad starved themselves for 3 days so they could save up to afford half off or discounted like grocery store sushi. And like on the package it says it's premium even though it's not. And Tamaki's just like, oh like, and he wakes up and it ends up being a dream. So that basically prompts him to call Kyoya and being like, we gotta go to Hari's house because I feel like she's living like in poverty. So
We gotta save that girl.
yeah, exactly. They're like, we gotta save her. So it turns out that they do go, but they're trying to be like discreet about it. And then Kyoya actually calls the rest of the gang because Tamaki just wanted it him and Kyoya, but obviously Kyoya messy once again. Like,
Exactly.
let's bring everyone we know. Haruhi, as you could probably guess, is annoyed. But it actually makes for a really, really cute episode. We see them kind of navigate through their house. Tamaki has this whole thing, because of his dream that they have to walk on eggshells and not say anything offensive or insinuate that she's poor or struggling so they can't embarrass
I mean, the
her.
funny thing is the twins were saying some stuff, like regardless. It's like place kind of small, and it's I was like sitting there like, what? Like it's not even that bad. Like, so y'all need to calm down. Like everybody was wild in this episode. It made no goddamn sense. Honey was the only one that was making good comments, and it was actually just being normal for the most part.
Exactly. I was like him and Mori. Even though Mori be saying like one line per year, but like yeah, like they were the only ones like. And then they like make it a competition. They're like, the competition is not to embarrass Haruhi, and I feel like yeah, it got worse once they made it a competition.
Yes.
One funny line though I thought was really funny is that Honey had brought this cake that they could all share amongst us, and so it was actually a bunch of different like assorted cakes, and so like he opens the box and he's like, Haru-chan, you can pick first, and then she's like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, like after you. And then like I think it's Kaoru, he's like, oh yeah, like we're rich so we get these cake like we get this cake all the time. And then they're like, shut up. And he's like, I was trying to be considerate. And I'm like, what?
That's I don't understand how that even works. Like, it's like we don't want to hear about your richness. All right, get this crap out of here.
I was like, what? And then there's this other, it was kind of prompted, I guess, by the scare he had as his dream that, she was eating grocery store sushi, but she thought it was premium because of the label on the package. So at one point they decided they want to eat. And then so she's like, oh, I'll get sushi from like a local sushi place. And then he's like, oh, she's going to think like she's going to get scammed thinking that premium tuna, premium sushi is actually like, cheap sushi is actually premium because of packaging. So he like writes on like a note, he's like, Haruhi, be careful. The packaging like whatever it might say doesn't necessarily mean it's good, and then slips it to her, and she reads it, and she's like, what is this trash, and just throws it, and he's like, I was trying to be discreet. I was like, y'all are clowns. Like,
Exactly. I was like, what is with y'all? Like, come on. I can't with you guys right now.
what? Oh, Andy pointed out when Mori gave Haruhi his strawberry on his like little cake. King.
Yeah. And
That's
everybody's freaking out like, oh, why didn't I think of that? I was like, I mean, he fast with it, right? He knows, right? He
right.
knows.
That's why.
Is that another ship moment right there, actually?
I was gonna say, for all the Mori Haru shippers, we're winning. We're eating good with these scraps. But that was a really cute moment. That's why I ship them. It's cute. But yes. But as who is it? As Leanne pointed out in the chat, this episode we get to meet the one and only Ranka, Haruhi's papa. And it's a very funny scene.
Interesting character.
Yeah, interesting character. Very funny scene. We get to meet him in Haruhi. There's a banana slip. Honestly, a very what would be now cliche, like, oh, he slips and falls on her. But you know, as Haruhi is like pinned to the ground by Tamaki, that's when Ranka walks in and sees his daughter being hovered over by this guy, and Tamaki's freaking out because he's like, it's not my scenes, and then Ranka's just like, anyway, and like literally throws Tamaki across the like wall, like slams Tamaki into the wall, and it's like,
we thought he was dead. We thought he died there. All right.
Exactly. He was like, I don't care. Like that was the fun. I love that scene. That scene is so funny. But it was really, really funny because then after that, it's kind of like, you know, Ranka is not feeling Tamaki because that's like, you know, how he first meets him. And so the twins definitely take advantage of that. And they're like, oh, yeah, he's a weird pervert. Literally, they're walking on his like
stepping on him.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, why you gotta be so dirty to him like that? Come on.
That was so funny, but I was just, yeah. So we meet Ranka. And so, okay, maybe people who watch the sub, I was a bit confused. So they were using some dated language in the dub that I'm not going to repeat. And how they were.
I was wondering how we were gonna talk about this.
Yeah, I'm just going to, because they kept using a dated word for trans. And they even mentioned that Ranka frequents trans bars. But when they were kind of talking about it in the flashback, it made it seem like more Ranka, and they were referring to Ranka with like he pronouns. It more seemed like he was just a cross-dresser, like he just liked cross-dressing.
Yeah.
And even when he was talking about Haruhi's mom, he was like, well, she never cared that I cross-dressed or whatever. So I was a bit confused, but I'm going to assume it was more that he just likes cross-dressing and dressing up as a woman, not that he particularly danced.
I mean, granted, he frequented this bar, so I'm assuming there's maybe more to that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he's doing at that bar. He does seem interested in, like, you know, males and everything like that too. So there could be more to it, is the thing. So
yeah, that's true.
So I'm like, I don't know that it was kind of weird how they were like how the translation was put for it. So I was just like, I don't like I don't know how we're supposed to really discuss it because I don't.
You know, and maybe that's the point. The fact that we don't really know, and that's fine because you know, it's like, you know, everyone can be whatever they want, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, I know in the oh, okay, Andy's saying in the sub they use the word okama. I don't know what that translates into directly in Japanese. Maybe I can look it up. Hold on.
Oh, we're looking it up. We're looking it up. Because yeah, I was sitting here like, there's no way I can do this because this ain't right. And not to mention, it doesn't seem like it's accurate to what is actually going on either.
Okay, on Wiki it says that homosexuality in Japan, a slang word for homosexuality.
Oh,
okay. Okay, so it's a slang word for gay man. That's what they're saying.
Interesting. It's just that he also dresses up.
Yeah.
So I mean, he would be considered that for the most part, and like I said, I'm assuming that might be part of his job. I'm not exactly sure. That's what when he goes to that bar. I'm assuming that's like the job he does, or
I think so because I know in the flashback it was like he was working at some kind of other thing, and he was also cross dressing. So I think maybe at that point, maybe he just began working at like a bar, I guess. Yeah.
I just know his wife, very accepting, very, very good woman.
Yeah, and I thought it was so cute when he was just like, "Well, she didn't care." When the one guy insinuated that like Haruhi might be embarrassed of him because, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That wasn't even the case either. When they had that flashback, he just wanted, her father to just, some time off to relax, and it was cute. I was like,
Yeah.
what? Why are you being like that? She's
Haruhi's
always like
great.
this, like always being caring, even at that age.
Yeah, exactly. Like the selfless, and it's just, it's like the selflessness and the fact that like when her mom passed away, she realized like, I mean, she was like even at that young, she understood that like it was a hard time for her dad, and she just wanted to help him like with because of that instead of like, we're not saying that like it's a selfish thing for a child to be like, only worried about how the passing of their mom affected themselves because it's a child, but the fact that she's so mature, she like immediately thought my dad's going through a hard time, so I don't want to make it any harder for him. Like that's insane emotional intelligence at like
Yeah,
what, like 6? Like
and she took over, which is what made her more independent in the first place. All the chores and everything that the mom used to do, she took
mhm.
over that and everything. So that's why
Yeah.
she is so independent. Is because of this right here.
Yeah, yeah. So again, we like got to see her dad. We got to see more insight into like her family life and more information as to why she kind of is the way she is. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was really really cute. At the end we kind of got this like passing of the baton, because they flash back to like she goes to the grocery store and then they like all follow her, like secretly follow her, and Ronka mentions that this is a thing that he usually does, like in terms of like following her, like ever since she was young she would go to the grocery store, so he would always follow her to protect her and things like that. And so it's just an extension of that. And they show this scene where Haruhi catches him following her, and then she's like, oh, I was just wanted to like follow you around, and carry your basket, I love accessories. And then we kind of get a repeat of that scene when she catches Tamaki like following her around, and so he's kind of like, Ronka
It's
kind
like,
of,
huh.
yeah, reflects like, one day she's gonna grow up and she's gonna want somebody special by her side, and I'm gonna have to get over it. Well, she was like, and I'm gonna crush you, like, but or he was like that. So
But the thing is though, is this a signal right here of Tamaki Haruhi? Like, is this it right here? Like, is this gonna be the main couple?
I'm going to reject it because I am Mori Haru Hive, but y'all can see what you want to see. I guess we'll have to wait till the end to see what.
I'm just saying, like, it's a pretty nice ship. I won't lie.
Boo.
Outside of some of the sexist things that Tamaki be saying sometimes, like I'm not gonna lie, he need to work on that. But he's a good character. He's a good person. At the end of the day, he has a good heart.
He's a little
He
sweetie.
tries. And not to mention, Tamaki is exactly like her freaking father, basically, because they're literally like one for one, which is part of the reason why they don't like each other,
Yeah.
or father don't like freaking Tamaki. So
Mm-hmm. I thought that was funny how they were like literally when they were doing flashbacks, like into when they were younger. Like I was like a one for one. This is literally spitting image of Taki.
and that's why
Yeah.
Haruhi knows how to deal with Tamaki in the first place.
That's exactly what I thought. I was like, she's been new. She's been through this. um, but yeah. Oh wait. So Andy says, oh, on Urban Dictionary also says particularly in reference to very effeminate gay men also can mean drag queen. Oh, so maybe it's like a multiple meaning thing. Okay, that would make no sense. Yeah, he
Could be
says he
that
was
too. Yeah.
bi, and I love that he wasn't ashamed of it at all. I must have missed that part when he said he was bi. I know he was
True.
like calling them cute, the boys.
Yeah, that's all I noticed. That's all I noticed too. That's why I'm like, I believe he's might be bi or something because like he is interested in men from what I'm seeing here.
Oh,
So
yeah. So Ronka was really already out here in like 2006. Okay. Ouran
yeah,
High School was good as shit.
exactly.
And
It's like how? What's going on?
I love the like you said, like it was like he was unashamed, he didn't care. It was open. It wasn't like this supposed to be this weird thing. Like it was just like keep up.
True.
Like I love that about the whole thing.
On my level, sir, madam, everything else.
Yeah, but I
it's
really
it's it's again, it's crazy. Like this show, like it just keeps blowing my mind every freaking time. I didn't see this coming.
mhm.
I when I thought I was here, like her dad is gonna be some typical macho guy or something. You know what I mean? Like something nothing too out there. This was way different than what I anticipated,
Mm-hmm.
but a welcome one.
Yeah, this show is so great. Like I love this show so much. But yeah, so that was episode 10. It kind of ended with them all having dinner together in a cute scene like that.
Yeah, he
So
kept giving him like what was it, like Rocco kept giving Tamaki some type of food I think he was asking for, and he just kept stacking it on, stacking it on, stacking it on.
Oh, what a cute
Now they
moment.
like each other, kind of.
Kind of. We'll see. We'll see if there's any turmoil later on. I really don't remember, so I
Ooh,
don't know.
ominous, ominous.
But yeah, I loved everything about this episode. It was so cute. Um yeah, so that was episodes 8 through 10. Um so I hope
Very good episodes, very
yes.
good episodes, and I like the fact that this all had all like very similar. Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
All very similar like theme, honestly, like it all kind of went together
Mhm.
almost too good, honestly, between the whole independent of Haruhi to the the sexist womanized thing that was going on that came through all these episodes,
Mhm.
and even the goddamn banana flip, the banana like peel slipping. For some reason, all three episodes had someone slipping on a goddamn banana. It's like, why? Why is there freaking a monkey? Because they kept showing that goddamn monkey eating bananas and dropping banana peels. I was like, what?
Right.
Why?
The callbacks to the bananas are so funny. Oh my god. Yeah, that was funny. They're so consistent. They're so good at like a callback, at like a referencing like, oh, that was yeah, those three episodes like went together like peanut butter jelly and a third thing, bread. Yes, yeah. So it was just like I don't
Yes.
know. I don't that wasn't planned. That's just how it happened to be. But yeah. Okay, wait. People are saying personally, I'm both Tamaki and Haruhi and Kyoya and Haruhi Hive. I also would like Kyoya and Haruhi. I feel like maybe I'm just being like a devil's advocate. I like that. I like that. I like a guy you wouldn't expect it and maybe doesn't wear their feelings on their sleeves ending up with her cool headed level headed kind of. I feel like that would be so cool. I don't know, maybe it's just me.
Bro, I can't shift them. Like, I can't mess with that dude. All right, hey, don't get that
Oh
out of
yeah,
here. Don't
that's
keep me
true.
dabbing on that.
That's true.
Hey, stop it, stop it. No, 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 don't. Oh my.
We'll see how it ends. We'll see. I already know how it ends, but like still we'll see. Maybe they rewrote the ending since the last time we watched. Maybe there's a maybe there's a Snyder cut of Ouran High School Club. We don't know.
Oh, well,
Um
they got the freaking Evangelion treatment again, like 8 different episodes, like freaking reboots, because that show got too many.
that'd be fun. I wish they did that with more cuz I'm not too familiar with Evangelion. Like I know the idea, like I know Asuka and like Shinji and all of them, but I don't actually know what all those like 19 different like movies and versions are, but I'm assuming they're retellings.
I think there's like 3 or 4 of them that do a retelling.
Mhm.
There's like a couple of movies that kind of expand a little bit more in the show. And then there's like these new ones that came out. I think it's just an expansion of the first season or something along those lines. I was hearing
Mhm.
there's a lot for some reason. I don't know why. I actually just finished. Like, well, we are gonna ask this question anyways. Like, what we were watching, I finished Evangelion actually,
Oh.
and that's another show that actually was doing something before its time, because the stuff they're talking about in that show is what we're talking about literally right now in today's conversations of how people are dealing with stuff with depression and everything. And it's just the theme is it surprised me. Now the one I watched, it was literally the original one that was like on Tsunami
Mhm.
back then, way back when. And so the dub was a little different. And for some reason, apparently that one I was watching had budget cut problems. So they had like the last, I think, 6 episodes. You can tell that the budget cut really hit them
Oh.
hard, because the animation dropped, the quality dropped so bad.
Oh.
It was so bad. I was like, what's going on? We had so many still images. It was
No,
I never
so
seen
sad.
anime get that bad with their animation. Like it was some of the laziest, disgusting looking work I've seen.
They're like, I don't know, y'all. Just we're gonna have to do a PowerPoint slide. I don't know. That so sucks though. Like when that happens, because I would imagine that's really really stressful trying to figure out how you're gonna like finish it up, at least with like some dignity and integrity with like half the budget you had when you started. Like that must like really really be unsettling.
Yeah.
But how?
I mean, luckily with how the show is, it still worked for it. because the way how the show is kind of structured and how the conversation was going with the themes that they were doing,
Mm-hmm.
the animation style that they chose to do did still work for it. It just did not look good though. It's still pretty bad.
Ah, oof, that's always bad. Well, but how did you like it overall? Like, would you? Because I don't know. There's some people who are like, everyone likes this show, but it's so mid or whatever. Did you like think it lived up to the hype?
Truth be told, yeah, I
Okay.
give it. If I had to rate it, I give it like a 9 out of 10
Oh
because of
wow.
because of the talking points of what they were going for and the themes and how they actually handled the themes. Again, mainly it's mainly the depression and finding oneself. That's kind of like the the topics and everything that they're talking about. Like depression mainly because of Shinji. It's incredible. Like it's really well written, and it's definitely a show I do recommend if you ever find time. Now, you don't watch the one I watched. Try to watch like maybe like the reboot version with better animation and everything that can better tell the story,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like it's worth actually watching to see the topics that they were talking about and how they handled it, because it is a gym, just kind of like how what I'm seeing with Ouran Host Club, where it's like ahead of its time with the kind of conversations and talking points that they had, especially considering that this was the kind of talking point they were having with, especially when it comes to like Japan's culture and everything, because depression is very strong over there and people can be suicidal and everything like that, right? So it does touch on certain topics like that, and it's interesting. So again,
Mm-hmm.
don't want to get too much into it, but it's something I really recommend whenever you guys have time.
I'm almost scared to watch it because like I feel like when something is like talking about depression, I get really depressed. Like it makes me sad. But it also can sometimes be like if you can relate to it or if I can relate to it, it can be sometimes comforting, but sometimes it's just like a lot. Does it end? Does it end like on a promising note, or is it like we're all depressed, we're all gonna die type thing?
It ends on a high note. It
Okay.
ends on a high note.
Okay. I don't know if that's a spoiler, but yeah.
Not necessarily, because again, it's the topics that they were going for and how they handled it. There's still more that needs to happen. That's the funny thing with how the ending was. That's why we need like another season, obviously. But I hope that's not too much of a spoiler. I say it ends well.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the ending.
Okay.
Again, you should give it a shot. You should give it a shot. You'll be surprised
That's definitely
by
been
it.
something that has been, especially when it was it like this summer or last summer when it got on Netflix or whatever. When that whole hype happened, I was like,
Oh,
oh,
true. Yeah.
I should watch it. But yeah, it's definitely something that I'm like, I think I have to be in a good headspace to watch it as well. So it's like I have to prepare myself. Um,
Yeah. Granted, it's kind of weird to watch it on Netflix now that you're bringing that up. Because I watched it in another way. Because you kind of need "Fly Me to the Moon," the ending song.
uh, is it
They
not?
take it off.
Oh, okay.
No, they didn't get the licenses for it. They said they ain't paying "Fly Me to the Moon" money, so it's just like, we don't get out of here.
Wow, Netflix is cheap. Netflix, you got so much money. You can license Fly Me to the Moon. Flop, flop.
Yeah.
Okay.
It kind of adds to the show because there's like different versions that are sung by the different like voice actors and everything.
Mm-hmm.
The Japanese ones, mind you. But there's different versions of it, and it kind of adds to the feel of the show as well. So it's kind of necessary, I feel. I don't know why the heck they said, nah,
Like nobody
okay,
cares about
Netflix.
this. um,
Ironically enough, everybody cared about it. Actually, that's why people were like, what is this?
one job. You had one job. But yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we can segue into what we've been watching. So yeah, I finished up, unfortunately, all the episodes of High School or Babysitter School. Is it Babysitter School? Yes. Or School Babysitter. Very cute show again. And I watched the first. I told you about this break already, but I watched the first episode. I mean, first season of Tokyo Ghoul. Because people are
Oh yeah,
saying
yeah.
that's it. But yeah. It was
You
okay.
you you talk about it, give your full on review for it, because her thoughts.
Let me put my review glasses on.
Oh, so yeah, there we go. Yeah, see,
It's
let me
official.
I gotta sit up for this one. Let me
It's
sit up for
official.
this one.
All right, y'all. So I had the dismay of what? No, just kidding. I watched Tokyo Ghoul this week, or last week more. which is the show about this guy named Kaneki. He's a regular college boy. I actually like that he was in college. I think Toka started off in high school, but he was in college. His friend was in college. A lot of the, people he interacts with at college. I always like a good college or older protagonist. But anyway, he's this college boy. He has a crush on this girl that he's been seeing in this cafe that he goes to. And so he like wants to ask her out. He's talking about it with his friend. He hypes him up. So essentially he gives him the like courage to like try to ask her out. And then the next time she comes in, she happens to be reading a book that he likes. So it's like, oh, perfect game. So essentially they go on a date. They have this great time. And like she's about to go home, but she's like, oh, can you walk me home? Essentially she like attacks him. You find out that she's what's known in this world as a ghoul, which is like, it looks like a human, but they have like different like powers, and they actually have to consume humans to like live. I believe at minimum you have to eat at least once a month to like be okay, or you'll start like flipping out and you'll die. But with this girl that he was interested in, her name is Rize. She's what's known as a binge eater. She'll eat even above what she needs to survive, so she just be doing this for fun. So she ends up getting killed during this like attack, and they actually transplant her organs into Kaneki to save, because I guess they were kind of both in the way of like the when the attack happened. He was like, she like obviously attacked him, and then she got hit by something, and so yeah, she was a goner, so they transported her organs into him. And so what happens is that because of that, he becomes half ghoul, and he starts to experience the same things that ghouls does. For example, he craves humans, but specifically with ghouls, not only do they like eat human flesh, like that's how they like survive, but they are repulsed by like human food. So there's this like really really sad scene where he's like in denial about the fact that he's a ghoul, and he's trying to eat like his regular human snacks, and he keeps barfing. And I thought that was so sad, but it was also such a good scene and stuff like that. So he's kind of coming to the acceptance that he's a ghoul. But luckily he kind of gets taken under the wing by this like group slash cafe called Onteku, and they're like what I guess us as humans would see as good ghouls, because they are trying to be ethical as possible with the fact that they have to consume humans. So they only like will get human blood of people maybe who like committed suicide or like died of natural causes, so they don't actually have to kill people or whatever. So it's like they kind of take them under their wing, and their whole thing is that they're trying to blend into society, stay like underground, because there's like these people called doves, humans that are just like literally their job is to take down any ghoul, because all ghouls are a threat, so they're gonna kill you if they find out you're a ghoul. So it's kind of like that struggle between these ghouls that are just trying to live, the doves who feel like every single ghoul is like a menace to society, so we have to kill. And then later on, we find out that there's like another faction called the Aogiri, who are like these ghouls that are like, whatever, we killing everyone, blah, blah. Like they're really reckless.
We
Yeah, basically.
wildin'.
And I don't want to do too much spoilers, but that's like the basis of it. And so it does have there are some parts I liked about it. I love Kaneki. He's a really sweet, soft boy. He's just a little cutie. I felt so bad for him when he had that, the girl he had a crush on was finna eat him. But like, yeah, he was a little cutie, and so I really liked him. I really liked the characters. I liked Toka. I like, what is his, Nishiki? Like I liked all the characters, right? But I feel like the plot, it went from being this kind of like, oh, here's this story about like doves versus like the Onteku trying to like stay undercover, but they're trying to like, chill, and like Kaneki kind of adjusting to the fact that now he's this thing called a ghoul, and what that means in terms of his relationships with humans, and the things he has to do to try to like, live in society without being killed or threatened. But then when they sprinkled in the Aogiri, in this like plot where like, there's some like sibling rivalry or something like that, it just was like, floor it, like, and then all of a sudden, like, there's all these characters that we suddenly should know and care about and know their motivations. I was very very confused. And then the thing I have the most gripe about was there is like the last two-ish episodes, there's a very gruesome like torture moment, and I just feel like the thing is, it was short. That's what you were telling me, right? They really cut it down, but it just seemed
Yeah.
so long, and it was very obvious that they were doing this torture scene as like a motivation for a change that's going to take place in the character that was being tortured. But I just felt like it was done so bad because the dude that he was torturing him, who was torturing him, I was like, who is this? Why should I care about this guy? Like, they real quick tell his like life story as to how it pertains with what's currently happening now, and I'm just like, who is this? Like, there was another like gruesome scene where like he was made to choose between like two people that were gonna die. Like, he had to choose one to live, and it was just a lot, and I was just like, I don't like this, and it's not good anymore. Like, it just seems like they're trying to be super edgy or something. And then at the end, when he makes a decision to do something, I'll just say that it just seemed out of nowhere and no motivation. So I was like, this is crazy. And the thing is, I've been hearing since the very beginning that episode or season one is considered the best in terms of Tokyo Ghoul, and then it just goes downhill from here. And I'm like, excuse me, it went downhill after 6 episodes. To me.
You hear this? You hear
To
this? I was
me.
just like, I was sitting there like, yo, what? Hold up,
You're.
because I thought first season wasn't bad. Like
Mm,
I mean, we need to see the motivation from the change and everything like that. And I know there's stuff that got rushed with it, but it was definitely not on the same like caliber of what we see in the next couple of seasons. Because I don't know what the heck happened at that point, especially the third season. Third season just said, "Hey, we're gonna finish this up somehow. You gonna see today. You like Promise Neverland season 2? We got
oh,
something for you.
oh God, no, no.
Oh yeah."
Oh God. Oh, I
So
just.
it's interesting that you didn't like season one like that, or
Mm.
you just thought it was okay because you didn't like it. If you don't like season one, good luck. All right, this is good luck. I need to know season two. I need you to watch it though, because I need to know now.
It sucks because I really did like I liked the idea of like what a ghoul is, what it means to be a ghoul trying to live in human society, the fact that there's different ideologies of how ghouls should live, and the fact that they get into a little of like what you see in Attack on Titan. I know that this was first, but like what you see in Attack on Titan, where it's like, who's really the bad guy here? Like, the humans assume because ghouls need to eat humans to live, they're the bad guys, they're the negative ones. You see like scenes with the doves, the guys who are the humans that are meant to chase after the ghouls and like destroy them, like just like slandering ghouls. But then it's like we see it from perspective of like the Onteku. We spend a lot of time with that because that's the group that takes Kaneki under their belt. And it's like, well, Kaneki's not a bad person. They're not bad people. They're literally just trying to survive. And we see there's like a mother and daughter pair that we kind of get to know as well. So it's like this crazy thing where it's like they like are treating these people like they're monsters. And granted, there are people like, for example, Rize, who are very excessive with like killing, and they don't care. They don't care about the fact that they are killing humans because they made I think they made like a reference to the fact that, well, like, humans kill animals to eat, so why are we seen as these monsters when this is what we need for sustenance and things like that? But like, then
Facts.
as a human, you're like, well, you would instinctively be scared of a race that literally needs to prey on you to survive. So
Which
like,
is
I
also
kind of
true.
get that kind of thing, but it's like I like that back and forth and stuff like that. But I just feel like I wish I could have spent more time with it just being about Kaneki, the doves, and Onteku, and instead of like rushing the whole thing with the Aogiri and stuff like that, and Toka's brother. Well, Toka's brother, I don't know. Like, I think that's a spoiler, sorry. But like him, like, I'm like, who are you? I don't care about you. Like, why? Like, you came out of nowhere. Like, I'm supposed to care? It was a lot. It was a lot.
Yes, kind of, but it was a lot. It was a lot. So yeah, that's a review though. That's how she feels.
It was a lot. Oh,
You didn't write nothing down, did you?
oh, for the review?
Yeah, you just seemed like you just had this all in your mind, huh?
Oh yeah, because I think about it a lot. I feel like it has a whole review because, like I said, I really do love that concept, but it just like at the second half it fell apart. But I do agree that opening is fire. The first opening, like, oh shit, shit. Yeah, I really like that. I would never skip that.
Yeah, no, and never skip. It's something that you play every time. You have to. You have to. It's
Exactly.
mandatory.
By law, you'll get arrested if you try to skip it. So yeah, that's what I've been watching. Also, the new Sailor Moon movie came out on the 2nd, so I do want to watch that. I know we had played on the idea of maybe watching that because I wanted to eventually do a movie for Anime Club because I think that would might be nice. And I think was it Andre that like suggested we do that movie, but I haven't watched it yet. But I know that was a big event in the anime sphere when that came out on the
Yeah. And if we're gonna
second.
do a movie, we could even do like maybe a night where we all can just come by and just actually
Woo!
watch it. Like
That's
if
what
you
I
guys
was
are in the
thinking.
Discord, you can do that.
Yeah, I was like, that would be perfect. So you could get an option, like if you're available, you can watch it with everyone, and then we talk about the next day. I mean, not the next day, but the next stream for people who, didn't get a chance to watch it with us, but you can watch it on your own accord. But yeah, there's so many
Yeah,
good movies too. But
very,
yeah,
very.
yeah. So we actually we're actually making good time. We have a bit more time. Oh, I forgot we started a bit late. Okay, but you have to go
That's why.
though at like
I
11.
got some time. I got some time.
Okay.
You can keep going.
I just
Don't
wanted
worry.
to know, was there any hot anime topics this week that you saw, around the the in the area?
Actually, I think there was one. If I'm not mistaken. I think it was a versus though. Is what it was. If I'm not mistaken. I can't remember who were the characters. I think it was like I don't know if they're doing the whole Saitama thing again or what it was. Oh wait, no. I think it was with Naruto actually, because they were saying how Naruto is like pretty much the goat anime of just anime in general because of just like the impact and everything that it did.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, not that. It was the fight scenes. Okay, now I remember now. Okay, it came to me. Thank God. Shonens. When it comes to shonen battle manga, Naruto has probably the best fights in shonen,
Mm-hmm.
like in general, from all the shows that we have currently right now, and even back then, Naruto has the best fight and has like the best fight at the end too, how it ends off.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a debate going on with it, with the fact that people don't think that's necessarily the case. But I've watched a lot of shonen in my life, from Dragon Ball Z to One Piece to Bleach, uh, Katekyo Hitman Reborn, freaking My Hero Academia, because a new one, Black Clover, because I watched that too. I don't know if Attack on Titan's really considered a shonen, but we can throw it in there. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Can Toriko even? I don't know if Chainsaw Man's consider that, but there's a lot of shonens that I've watched throughout the time, and I have to admit, if I had to really think about it, I think Naruto overall has probably the best fight scenes,
Oh,
or just best
really?
fights in general. Yes, I think I actually agree with that hot take that was there, because though Dragon Ball Z they had good fights, a lot of the times they're very stretched out. You're out here freaking stretching a whole thing for like 10 episodes, and it's just like, bro, why are we stretching this out for so long?
Yeah.
Even with Kai, how they kind of condensed it, it was still quite long of a time frame for the goddamn planet to blow up and stuff like that. And same thing with the cell fight. There are certain elements to it that is like, there are great moments in those fight scenes, but can we really consider that them actually being really good fights? Because
Mm.
with Naruto, we have legit choreography that goes on with actual fight scenes from like Obito and Kakashi. Best fight scenes we can get out of there. Freaking Naruto and Sasuke from the first time they fought in the Waterfall Valley, and to the end when Naruto and Sasuke finally fought after everything that happened, they finally have their fight. One of the best fight scenes I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, I don't know. Naruto had to me, it's hard to argue. I think Naruto might have some of the best ones in there, especially if you try to compare it to like other shonens. But yeah, I'm gonna
Was
leave it
there a
at that
lot of
though.
pushback to the idea that Naruto has the best fight scenes?
Oh yeah, because people are like, well, Dragon Ball Z, because obviously Dragon Ball Z is
Mm-hmm.
the granddaddy of them all. But again, I've watched Dragon Ball Z, and if I had to really buckle down and look at these fight scenes, like really try to analyze it and like you know critique it, I think Naruto just they have better choreography. They have better uh even like when it comes to more of the supernatural stuff, it's easier to really feel the impact more so than how Dragon Ball Z kind of had it. Especially if you want to try to put in Super too. Super's fight scenes are not even that good. probably gonna be upset about that, but they're not. They're not that
Oh.
good. The CG in there is not. I don't like it. So it's like it slows everything down. Dragon Ball Z is supposed to be fast. Like we are humans. We shouldn't be able to see them in every single like little crisp detail. It's kind of weird, and I miss that style that they had in Dragon Ball Z where it's so quick where you kind of just like, see instances of them of fighting, and sometimes you'll see the actual fight scenes and everything like that. And it's just like I feel like Naruto just had better choreography all throughout their show, and we have too many memorable fights. We have like here's the thing:
Yeah, I was
we have
gonna
Naruto,
say, even as
we have
somebody who,
Naruto versus Kiba, we have like the Hulk shooting exams. There's so
yeah,
much.
I was
There's
gonna
so much.
say, as a young, however old I was, watch that, who doesn't really like, I would say I can enjoy a good choreographed fight, but I'm not the girl for like the fighting. Like I'm not really the girl who's gonna go up for that. But I do remember like a lot of iconic scenes and being really really enthralled by like the tuning exams and a lot of the fights that happened in Naruto as far as I watched of Naruto. So like, as somebody who literally has no like, although I will say that I am like a proponent that I personally just feel like I would never get into Dragon Ball Z. I feel like it's really boring. Yeah.
He said
I
boring.
know, and it get dragged. I'm being
Uh,
kind of biased. I should actually try to properly watch it again, but the fact that I have no motivation to watch it, like I also don't have any motivation to rewatch or finish Naruto or whatever. But like I could probably be convinced, because I do watch a lot of Naruto videos for some reason, like the ones that like Swag Kage and all them make, those like literally Naruto dedicated
ah,
channels. I love it because it's so enthusiastic. And they're like, here's how Madara opened the ninth gate. Like it's literally like this 10-hour video. I'm like, all right, I'll watch this. But yeah, those I always remember being really, really hype. I was gonna say throw in my 2 cents. I really like Attack on Titan. I don't know how it compares, but I know for me, those men Levi versus the Beast Titan, y'all. Like you like the way that changed my life. And again, as somebody who like doesn't really go out for fighting like that was like another instance of something just like being like, yo, this is really cool. And even as somebody who doesn't look for that too much, this is blowing my mind, and I definitely appreciate that. So sorry, I interrupted you. But I just wanted to put that
good.
out
You're
there.
good. I was going on a tangent anyways, because like I don't know. Like I said, Attack on Titan has really good moments in their fights and stuff like that. Though, be real here.
Yeah, I love
Levi
it.
versus Beast Titan. Levi versus anybody. Is that even a fight or is that a murder? like
True.
what we talking about here?
That is so true. But yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's actually really interesting because when like those kind of fights break out, there's names that you tend to hear a lot, and I'm like, and Naruto obviously is one of them, but you always wonder, is it just because it's popular and well known, and there's a lot of fans to back it, or is it literally like doing something that other shows didn't, or just weren't at the level of, or it was just doing it superiorly. So
See, that's the thing about it, because like I was actually having this kind of conversation actually on my stream yesterday. We were talking about Naruto, and someone in the comment section was like, "Naruto 3 out of 10, show ain't good. I only watched like 3 episodes." And I'm like, "Well, one, you only watched 3 episodes, so that's not nowhere near enough to actually really get into the show." Because again, it's one of those shows where you kind of have to get to a certain arc, and their first actual arc is incredible actually. So if you don't like that, then you're gonna have a hard time actually enjoying Naruto in general. Is the thing. And there are things with Naruto, especially dated things in it, that it don't it doesn't age well, like the sexy jutsu, for instance. That's not something that ages well in the whole show, and I can see that turning people off. And there's just certain elements of the show story wise that they try to tell, because there are some inconsistencies with the writing that Kishimoto did that it can turn you off with the show as well. There are problems with the show, and I stuck with it because one, I was younger, it was on Toonami, I got into it that way, and I just watched it ever since. So, it was something that I kind of grew up with in a way, even though I was like a preteen teenager when it was actually out. But I practically grew up with it, and not to mention once I got into YouTube and the community that was there, I gravitated so much into that and made friends and found so many people because of it. So like Naruto, one of my best friends is because of Naruto. Actually, is a funny thing. So it's just like Naruto has done a lot for me. So I think that's part of the reason why I can be a bit biased in that sense. But even if I was like, break it down, I still think that Naruto has probably some of the best fights. There's too many to even mention. There's whole arcs that they just have that are just like some of it's peak shonen fighting that we had there. Not to say that other shonens didn't do it first or didn't do it well, because I see in the comment section someone brought up Yu Yu Hakusho. That's another good one actually, and he has some pretty good fights in there as well. One of their best ones is with Togoro, actually, ironically enough. It was an all right fight, but you know what I mean. Like, we don't talk about all the fights that was in that tournament, the dark tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's fights there, but not all of them are actually highlights. Whereas if you talk about the Chunin exams, Naruto Kiba, we have Rock Lee Gara, you have Ino and Sakura, like we actually had some bangers going on there, and then the next round and stuff with Sasuke, and there's too many, and something with the show, they just knew what they were doing when it comes to how to craft a fight scene, and it keeps you interested because of that stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
like Naruto did something right, and I think that's where it excels the best at, honestly, than any other shonen that has done it before. So
All right, so we have a point for Naruto then. I'll back you then and give it to Naruto, even though I wanted to give it to Attack on Titan. I'll give it to Naruto.
and you don't have to agree with me. It's all right. It's all
No, I want
good.
to support you. as your as a co-host, I want to support you. But yeah,
Thank you.
I also did want to add, sorry, because I also wanted to give to I would say that it's not my favorite show, and again, I don't know how it fares, but I also really like a lot of the fight scenes in My Hero Academia. But I think what's really funny is that I enjoy the ones where they're just playing around. Like the ones where it's like for school. I enjoy those better than when they're like really, really fighting like actual bad guys. Like those ones just stand out to me more for some reason. I was watching for whatever reason, I even though I never finished season 4, I watched the most recent like 4 5 episodes of season 5 of My Hero, because my brother was watching it and I was like, I might as well. And they're like right now they're doing like they're fighting, I don't know what they're like, class B, I don't know, the heroes
Yes,
course.
Class B versus UA, and on a whole pretty much like test to see where they're at, kind of
Mm-hmm.
strength, because after everything that happened, they're all training and everything, so they needed to do another refresher basically, and they
Mm-hmm.
had to add Shinzo, I think his name is.
the
Shizwo.
the
Shizwo.
purple
I
hair
can't remember
guy,
his
I
goddamn
think it's
name.
Shinzo.
Yeah, yeah,
Shinzo, yes, Shinzo. Yeah.
yeah. But he's also added to it because they want to add him also to the hero course. So yeah, they had battles going on with that too, which I have my own kind of opinions on that.
Oh, you don't
They're
like
not
them?
bad battles. Yeah, I like them. It's just that I feel as though that this section here is not necessarily needed, because like, yeah, we have Class B. We want to show off more of Class B, especially considering there's like new characters there. But it's just like, how much are we really gonna be using Class B later
Ah.
on? Are they really gonna be that important? Do I really need to care about these characters? That's where my issue kind of comes in with it. And I don't know. It just feels like since we already did this is not the first time they did this. That's the funny thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second time now. So it's like, do we really need to do this again? I don't know. That's what kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit.
Maybe it's like to set up like if one of them play like a relevant like moment like in the future, to be like, so it's not just like a random person coming out of nowhere. It's like, okay, this person actually has somewhat of a history, we know who this is, to kind of set that up like that. But I definitely see what you're saying. But I don't know, I just think it's funner. Like I remember, what was it when All Might fought, what's his name, one for all, the one for all guy, who did he fight, that big fight at the end of like season,
All for one.
yeah, All for One. I was like, this is boring. Dang. Like I thought that was mad boring. I was like, how is this supposed to be huge and this is boring? I was surprised. But yeah, a lot of those like real fights be boring. Maybe it's just me.
I mean, those are grandiose fights, basically. Like, you wouldn't necessarily even consider it necessarily a fight, because they're not really going back and forth to that extent. It's more about moments kind of happening. That's what's so interesting, because I don't know. I break things down differently when it comes to what I consider a fight and not a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was just talking about, like Levi, for instance. Levi doesn't really have fights. He has moments where he just takes out suckers. Like we ain't going back and
That's true.
forth. That's not an actual fight at that point. Like a fight is like Obito versus Kakashi, where they're going back and forth trading blows, and we're having a whole sequence happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I say, like with One Piece. One Piece doesn't have fights really either. They have moments, or we have big grandiose events that happen. Sometimes there's fights. Not saying they don't have them. It's just
Mm-hmm.
it's very far and few is the thing. So like my definition of fighting is a little bit different from others.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Especially when it's like not really, you know it's not going to end with somebody actually being like straight up destroyed. It's kind of just like a to see how they are, like how they're like against each other right now. Like, you know what I mean?
To an extent, yeah, yeah. I mean, people can be destroyed at the end. Yeah, they could die. I mean,
Yeah.
if a
But
fight's
when you
that
know it's
serious.
like
So,
this villain's not gonna die. They're gonna come back. Like there's no way they're gonna like let this like villain like that kind of thing. But yeah.
actually,
Well,
wait. I just
sorry
realized. So
guys.
you just said you watched the 5 episodes, right? So you're currently caught up, technically speaking, right?
I mean, I don't know what happened before that, but I guess.
But you know about Deku then, right?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, and that's one of the things I was talking with my brother about too, because it's like, I think I don't mind as much, like, because I don't really feel like I'm being spoiled, because I know, like, we got more insight onto, like, his quirk, like, One for All, and things like that, and, like, the history of it. And, like, you know, he was like, isn't that like a spoiler? And I'm like, not really, because I don't, either maybe it's I don't care as much, or it's not as mysterious. Like, I'm interested in learning more about it and how, you know, like the history of it, but it's not like in a way where like Attack on Titan, I'm like, you better not tell me like anything about the history of like the Titans and things like that, because I want to find out, like, you know, whatever. Like it's more of chill. Maybe it's because I'm not as invested in My Hero, but like, yeah, I didn't mind that much jumping around. I want to go back though, because I really like Lemillion in them, so I want to see more of what happens with that crew.
Okay.
Before I move on.
Okay, I won't probably discuss it too much then over here because I just know that what we just found out about Deku and his goddamn quirk.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a bumpy about to be busted as heck. Like this is this is gonna be ridiculous.
Oh yeah, me and my brother were like, even though yeah, we were like trading theories like what this could mean in terms of like, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, it was pretty
Yeah.
crazy. I have to admit, I thought that was pretty interesting.
But let's check the comment section. There's a lot going on
Oh
in here
yeah,
apparently.
sorry
So
guys.
let's see what they're saying.
Um, Andy says, I guess my big three is more based on what was popular growing up and not necessarily my favorite animes. Oh, that's true. Oh wait, people are saying what's your big three anime? Similar to
Oh well,
King.
my original big three anime is Naruto, Bleach, One Piece because that was considered the big three because they were the most popular three animes that were actually
Mm-hmm.
selling quite a lot back in Japan. Like they were the boys, you know, they were the top dogs that were kind of there and were putting Shonen Jump on them, like, you know, on their backs basically. So that's why we kind of consider them the big three. And there really isn't like another big three like this because
Mm-hmm.
like Shonen Jump honestly is kind of, this is actually a topic in of itself, actually, if you want to talk about it. But Shonen Jump is kind of dated with how they go about getting new manga, and I feel like the way they go about things, they're gonna be phased out here if they don't decide to change something and become more digital
Mm-hmm.
and work like how Chainsaw Man is. And there's like this, I think the Million Dollar Detective, I think something like that too, where there's like these other like webtoons and other services that are out there now that are doing manga and making bank and doing something similar to what Shonen Jump is doing, but they're still stuck in their old ways.
I actually do have the Shonen Jump app, and I do like it. I think what it is you pay $2 a month and you have access to read up to 100 chapters of anything. But I do agree, in comparison to like the Webtoon app, that blows it out of the water, because it's like
Oh yeah,
you can comment, like there's like, you know, it just seems like, if the what is it, UI or whatever, like how you can just, that's just being able to
yeah.
scroll. What Whoever invented that needs a Nobel Peace Prize. Now you can like scroll pretty easily too, like on the Shonen Jump app. You can just like, you know, it's just like in the order or whatever. But I don't know, there's something just so smooth that you can endlessly scroll, like something smooth about that. But yeah, I mean, I think the app is good for what it's worth, but I don't even think a lot of people know about it. Like, I feel like there's people who read more
Uh,
shonen than me and don't. I'm like, oh yeah, the app, and they're like, what? Like, people who watch anime way more than I do don't even know about it. So yeah, I feel like they need to promote it more. And I
well,
think,
it's not even just that. I mean, we know. Here's the thing: anime community knows about, you know, Viz Media and the Shonen Jump app and everything. It's just that we have other ways
oh
of
okay, is
keeping up
it?
to date.
Well, okay, I can see that too, because well, to me, $2 is like, well, $2 and I can read, like, because that's the thing. I'm definitely one of those people who are like, whatever is more convenient is what I'm gonna do, even if I have to open my wallet. So for example, like, there are other ways, but I guess maybe I'm not as tech savvy. I don't like clicking through, like, you know, X, Y, and Z. I think a lot of the things, the ways I used to watch it, I think of like the fact that every time you turn a page it has to refresh. That was kind of like stuff like that makes it appealing to me, that it's just
What were
like
you using?
like when you turn the page it like refreshes the page, like rather than endless. I mean, I haven't. That's the thing. I haven't been on that kind of like stuff in a while, so maybe it's been upgraded. But like, I was to me that
Oh
was
yeah.
hella convenient. And I know a lot of people see $2 and they're like, yeah, but I can get it for free, so why would I pay? But
Yeah.
like, and then for webtoons, it's like you can use it for free. Like you don't have
Oh,
to.
yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like webtoons, they're very generous. Like, and
Yeah.
anybody can make a webtoon too. So that's what's kind of crazy about it too. Like, it's just their service is pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm.
I've used it, so like I know exactly what you're talking about. Like between that and like I said, there's some other one that's there. I can't remember what it's called because there's another manga currently right now that's even I think almost not outselling One Piece right now. And One Piece is the granddaddy of them all. Like that manga tends to sell like the most in general, just in manga and like in general. The
Uh-huh.
only ones that kind of overtopped it was like Demon Slayer, and there's like two other ones that did it. But One Piece has always been a big top dog for Shonen Jump and just for manga in general. So there's other stuff that's coming out now, and that crap is like blowing up. I can't remember what the heck it's called though. Tokyo is it Tokyo Revengers? Yeah, Tokyo Revengers is one of them. Yeah, Tokyo Revengers is another one of
Oh,
them
I
that
remember hearing about that.
overtook One Piece and everything. So
Oh dang.
like I'm just saying, times are changing. Right.
Well, what do you think they can do to get more people on their side in terms of if you think this is gonna phase out?
First things they can do, because this is one of the things that annoyed me the most about Shonen Jump, give mangas a chance. What the one thing about webtoons that I love about it is that the show goes on. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can get to 50 chapters of something and it's not going to just get canceled all of a sudden. You know what I mean? It can continuously go. Shonen Jump will cancel something after like 10 chapters and it's just like, bro, and it can be real interesting too. I read like three different mangas and I started them. I was like, okay, this is actually not a bad concept. It's pretty good. Thing gets canceled because freaking Shonen Jump thought it wasn't good enough because it wasn't getting like a bunch of money. It was selling, but it wasn't like One Piece all of a sudden. You know what I mean? They're looking for like the next big hit and not necessarily just looking for people to float around.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel as though they need to get away from that thinking and just try to find a good idea, let it play out a little bit and see where it goes because they cancel too many manga. And that's like the main problem that they're doing. They need to stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was one that I was watching Super Eye Patch Wolf's his like little he does like
Oh,
videos about
yeah, I
Shonen
know he
Jump.
is.
Yeah. Oh, just for like the crowd people who might not know him. And he does like these videos where he kind of like looks at or examines like the state of Shonen Jump. So one of the ones he talked about, I forget what it was called, but I ended up reading it when I got the Shonen app. It was like this like time traveling thing about this guy who is a mangaka or aspiring mangaka, but he can't get a hit, and so he somehow gets a copy of like something that's in the future going to be a hit manga, and so he just steals the idea. Yeah, but it got canceled I think after like 11 chapters. So, and I was like, that's unfortunate. This sounds really
Yeah,
interesting.
so you actually okay, interesting because that's the video that kind of sparked that thought, and I saw what was going on actually because of Super Eye Patch Wolf. And I was like, oh, really? And then of course other stuff in the anime community that I was looking at, I'm like, yeah. So I mean, this is a pretty big issue, and yeah, they don't like I said, they don't give things time
Mm-hmm.
like that. Like I said, that manga you're just reading it was interesting. So it's like, why
Yeah.
not give it some more time? I'm pretty sure it can start. The sales can go even further. It's just not everything has to be a hit immediately. Things don't work out like that all the time.
Wow, that's funny because, and since we're on this channel, I'm just gonna make a crossover. I feel like that's very interesting because I think that's a lot of the feeling towards in K-pop, when like a group won't do
Oh,
well early on, they sometimes will disband, because especially if they come from maybe like a company that's smaller and doesn't have a lot of money, they will like a lot of people feel like they don't get like a reasonable shot because the like company will just disband them if they don't make money in like in a certain time frame. So in the same sense, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, give them like a chance, like really back things. But I feel like maybe it could be like a sense of like, make sure like when you decide to put something in there, you really feel like it's something, because I feel like, if you're looking at it as like, this thing has a lot of potential and I believe in it, maybe you won't be as quick to pull it if it just doesn't like become that instant hit that you want it to be. Like you'll be like, well, I know this has potential, so let's just let it cook because I feel like it has the ability to get a crowd. It just is not getting it right now. So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's very
that's interesting.
interesting. That's interesting. I did not know that that was such a heated topic among the fandom. I feel so disconnected. I really don't be in the anime fandom. Not that anime fandom. I be in like the Skate the Infinity fandom and them talking about how, like Matcha Blossom is the best ship since sliced bread or whatever. So it's interesting
Yeah,
to
I'm
see
not.
the
I'm not as
different.
heavy as I like used to be in the community, but I'm still there. I
Mm-hmm.
still see these topics that come through, and some are interesting, and some are just recycled. But it's some stuff that be going on in there.
Yeah. 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 So if sorry guys, I've been missing all the comments
Yeah,
from
yeah, we got to look at y'all
but
talking about right now.
I don't know because I feel like sorry into like the fandom and stuff like that. I do feel like maybe that's why I kind of always felt a little ostracized from the community for when I was younger. Like when I started my channel, one of the reasons why I started my channel is because I feel like you could always find a discussion on Naruto. You could always find a discussion on DBZ. You could always, but like, the stuff I wanted to talk about and stuff like that, it was harder to find like communities for that. And I feel like that's why sometimes like when I was younger, I'd feel kind of like, I mean, yeah, I liked anime, but like the titles that would come up commonly weren't necessarily things that I loved. Like, yeah, I watched Naruto,
Interesting.
I liked it, but like I wasn't really the type to talk about DBZ, Yu Yu Hakusho, like things like that. That wasn't really up my alley. So sometimes I felt like even though I'm part of this like culture or whatever, not culture, or I'm part of this like fandom, I still kind of feel like an outsider. But then I feel like as like it just became more prevalent to talk about it online and I could find more resources and there just became more people talking about it, I felt more like seen and I felt like there's more people that like, I don't know, talked about the similar stuff that I did or like similar stuff that I did and we're like really into
I
the
think that's how
manga.
you found my channel then, huh? Because like I didn't just talk about Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. Like I
Mm-hmm.
talked about literally just every anime. Like I was going in. I talked about AKB freaking 0048. Like that's goddamn like like pop idol group. And there's a whole anime for it. And I watched that and had reviews on that and everything. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean
that
that's
could explain.
probably true. Like I feel like yeah, I was just looking for anyone who would like talked about things that like I recently watched or currently watched or really really liked and I feel like a lot of times it can be dominated by those like big three, the whatever the top shonen is, like even when that whole kind of like meme of like, oh, like are you, if you're a real anime loving
Oh,
girl then name 3 Dragon Ball Z characters, and it's like, well, I could know no Dragon Ball Z characters and still be a legitimate anime fan. I just don't like that show. Like it's just really like silly, and it's like none of you ever do that for like Sailor Moon. Like it's like there's other iconic shows and stuff, and so I feel like sometimes there's like this kind of divide in terms of like you want to think, oh, it's the anime fandom, but there's honestly like people who like different kinds of things, so you'll get like subdivisions of like the anime fandom. So I don't know.
oh
I
yeah,
don't know my point, but I was
yeah.
just pointing that out.
Andrew, yes, there is an anime for AKB 0048. I think there's like 2 seasons for it too.
Yeah,
So I mean, it did get some love.
yeah. But
Show's
yeah,
not that bad. Show's not that bad. I won't lie. I won't lie.
I idol moment. There was a moment where I literally loved idol anime, but I actually never watched that. Maybe I should give it a try. You said?
Hey, that could be in the next pick.
Uh
Maybe I can throw
oh.
it in there and see what happens.
Uh oh. All right. So I think we can wrap just about. Yeah, we're at the 2 hour mark, so we can just
Oh,
about
actually,
wrap.
wait. I just remember there's one thing. I said this at the end of the stream. We need to talk about this or do
Mm-hmm.
this. It's a vote.
A
Do
vote.
you guys like doing this on YouTube or on Twitch more?
Yeah, that's actually a
I want to
good
know.
question. I feel like I want to take a moment to just lament on like what it's like to be content creators that both utilize Twitch and YouTube, and how it's like hell because you always, I'm like, am I making the right decision? Am I making the right decision? It's a lot, and I feel
Yes.
like Twitch is beautiful. Don't get me wrong, I love Twitch, and there's times where there's certain things I can I don't even want to say do, but I can get away with on Twitch that I could never get away with on YouTube. So there's legitimate reasons to really like Twitch, and it was the thing that really made me put time and attention into like upgrading my setup and things like that. And I like Twitch, and again, like I built a community there and things like that. But then like YouTube, she's also great. So
Very.
I don't know. It just seems like I don't know. What do you think? How are you weighing the pros and cons of streaming on Twitch versus YouTube?
Like, I won't
Oh
lie.
no.
I won't lie. As a content creator myself, if I could transfer to YouTube, I probably would, because you can get more emotes. I can actually, like, the money that people that subscribe to me, more of it actually does come to me instead of Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot of other things, a lot of factors as a content creator you're getting more out of if you're doing it on YouTube as opposed to Twitch.
Uh-huh.
One of the main actual like honestly, one of the best things about Twitch I'm noticing actually is the fact that you can stream, play music, or do whatever, and all they'll do is just mute your stuff. They don't
Yeah.
and mute the section. They won't just like straight up just take it down and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Granted, it's not like sometimes they will, but they're better with their I guess robotic system to be able to differentiate what's going on. You know what I mean? So, and I don't know, there's a community that's a little bit better there in Twitch than it is on YouTube. YouTube seems to alter a little bit on that for some reason. It's weird. It's a
I
weird thing. That's why I'm like, I'm kind of curious what you guys think on how you guys feel about watching us or streams either on YouTube or Twitch. Like, how does it feel for you guys? If it's any different, or if it's any better than the other. So I'm like torn between it, but I do like Twitch more in some cases.
mm. Let's see. Fortunate says Twitch. Andy says, Leanne says I'm fine with either. Andy says, honestly, either is fine for me. I know not everyone uses Twitch though. And I think that's a big thing for me because I think like the core of like, viewers and people who watch my stuff, started from here. Like even if like some people did come over to Twitch, it definitely did start here. Which is, always something considered. Though there's are people who found me from streaming on Twitch, which I think like for me, because like I do games, but then I do a lot of podcasting and events. I think I would keep my gaming on Twitch just because I wouldn't really know where I would put that. Like I'd keep my gaming on Twitch and then I'd put any highlights or any YouTube videos related to that I do on the Pink Cloud channel. But like, I guess it's kind of hard because this isn't a K-pop channel. So like doing like my Daily Dose podcast, it makes sense. But then doing this here doesn't make as much sense. I mean, it's not bad because a lot of you are anime fans, but like, it's one of those things. This is really hard, y'all. This content creation thing is hard. The organization aspect of it is very hard. Yeah.
I didn't know. This is my first time ever actually being on the channel.
Oh,
This is a big channel here, so
welcome to the show. um, let's see. Christine says, I don't mind either. Both are fun. Andre says, I'm cool with either and what's more convenient for you. Oh, thank you. Andy says, I do like how Twitch has background play though. I can listen and wash dishes or something, but that's completely up to you. Honestly, it's the opposite for me. I can't pull. You mean like when you can pull it in the corner of your screen and like do other stuff on your screen?
Oh, well, yeah, you can do that for Twitch.
First, okay, I could do that for Twitch, but now I can't, and I don't know why. It annoys me. But I can do that for
I
YouTube.
mean, do you have it actually turned on? Because you can turn that off actually.
You can turn it off. Is it default on or default off? Because I didn't do anything and it just doesn't work anymore.
I think it should be. Well, I mean, mine was actually off. Now I'm thinking about it. I had to turn mine on, so it might just be off for you. Is why it's doing that.
That's so
I need to
weird
check
because
your
I did
settings.
not change it. Why does it keep happening to me? First Twitch just decided to lock me out. They banned me from streaming, and now, well, I guess the other thing would have been first, but I don't know. It's crazy. Anyway,
Yeah, but you're right though. Like YouTube don't got that for some reason. I mean, I know they don't want to do that for like music necessarily because they want you to use YouTube Music. They want you to pay. Like for stuff like this, for like live streams, like it's weird because it's a video format
yeah.
in a way. So you should be able to just bring it down. Like it shouldn't really have to always be on. Because I know you can do that with some videos I saw on YouTube. But I guess when you're doing live streams, it doesn't do that whole thing. All I know is it's dumb that they make this a paywall that you have to even do. Like, it's dumb.
Exactly. Like that like closing the app and being able to play music. It's like people have been asking you to be able to do that for like years, and then you go ahead and take people's idea and put it under a paywall. I mean, technically it's genius from a capital standpoint, but from like a consumer standpoint, you guys are crooks. But yeah, I don't know. Um Christine says, depending on the stream, like the context, it does change, but I'll generally watch on either. There also are a lot of perks with like YouTube. Like I noticed that people get the notification a lot faster on YouTube that like somebody's live than on for some reason Twitch it just takes a while. Like all the time. Like even for me, like people I follow, like it will like they might as well say, "Hey girl, somebody streamed a couple hours ago. We forgot to tell you," because it's just like it takes so long sometimes, and it's just like literally this is what your whole site is about. How is this a problem? You know?
Yeah,
Um,
very unfortunate.
yeah, that's crazy though. Okay, I guess that's something to consider. Yeah, Twitch notifications. I don't know why they're so bad. It's like y'all should like some of this stuff that y'all. This is y'all's like should be y'all's forte. You're letting YouTube body you.
Yeah, and y'all making so much money right now. You guys have no excuse to not make this function better. Like, come on
Exactly.
now. This is simple.
Exactly. Like they're it's so messy over on Twitch. But the thing is, I feel like it's easy to cuz I also have issues with YouTube too. Like so I feel like a lot of times when I'm having problem with Twitch, like the instant thing is to romanticize YouTube. But I've had issues with YouTube too, like of them just doing stuff that just don't make any sense in terms of my streams or putting out when I like upload videos to people who are subscribed to me and things like that. So it's kind of like, the grass is always greener on the other side. But
Yeah, like I
you
said, they
know,
both have their problems, and it's a matter of just which one you rather deal with.
that's true. That's true. I mean, YouTube is nice because I think what's really, really nice about YouTube is like when I do like a daily dose podcast, when I'm done, it's automatically like up on the channel or whatever. And like, people actually use YouTube to play, but like people play back VODs, but like not the way they do with like YouTube videos.
Yeah,
Um,
it's also searchable too.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's like, so, just things to think about. But thank you guys for the feedback. Break any decisions that this helped you come to or any
I'm still
sentiment.
conflicted.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just something to think about because it's just like there's so many things like, you know, I want to do and dabble in, but it's just like I don't know where to put it all, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
So yes. Also, let me put you on the spot since we are on the K-pop channel today. Break said that he's feeling Blackpink and he wants more girl groups that would like fit into that genre. So do you guys have suggestions for him? I was actually talking to my friend Jazz yesterday and she said that I should have recommended Red Velvet to you. So that's another group. They have very, very like
Kind of funny you say
interesting.
that.
Are you already a
I
stan?
ran into that. I ran into that group when I was listening to what you recommended me actually, because there's like a playlist on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I was just trying to listen to them. The 21. What's the
Yeah,
name of this?
21. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
21.
21. Yeah, I was just trying to listen to them, but then it kind of moved in to CL, and then it moved into Red Velvet, and I was like, CL pretty good. All right, like I'm not gonna lie, like I was like, yo, hold on a minute. I was listening to a
Uh-oh.
lot of their songs. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
CL and 21, they were good picks. I like them.
Oh, okay. Listen, you can't go wrong with 221 or CL. Okay, Leanne saying Everglow. Everglow Glow is a Yeah, I think Everglow would if you like the more EDM side of Blackpink, which I think you do because you said you like a lot of the newer stuff. Yeah, I feel like that could
Yeah,
definitely work. Andy's saying CLC. Yeah, their later title tracks definitely. If you stick to the later stuff. Yeah, it's kind of hard because a lot of these groups have had like a lot of makeovers in terms, or like I feel like in K-pop in general, you never know what you're gonna get sometimes the group. So, but I definitely think later. Oh,
I
FX.
definitely noticed that. I definitely noticed that with 21, like
Mm-hmm.
their older songs. Wow, they sound real dated. Like it sound like a freaking what was it? A Will I Am song at times. I was like, yo, this is like back then. I was like,
Boom
yo,
boom pow.
I got transported.
Yeah, it can be a toss up. FX is also a really really good one. I think in a similar vein, their later stuff would probably be more up your alley than their earlier stuff. But I would try the early stuff though. It can be interesting. They're very eclectic. So you'll get a little bit of everything with FX. So, but
Okay, okay.
yeah,
This is a lot. I'm gonna have to like
write them all
make a list
down.
here apparently.
We're gonna quiz you next time. No, it would be
Oh
fun.
no.
Not to put you on the spot, but wouldn't it be fun to have Break on the podcast, like the Daily Dose pod, just to see, like, if you can, like, how much you can understand of what we're saying, and just to have an outsider's opinion, like that would be so. Ooh, have him on a Who Wants to Be a K-pop Billionaire show.
I knew you were gonna say that. Oh god, I'm gonna lose in the first question.
It can be you in chat. They can tell you they can help you with the help this much the answer. But yeah. Oh, SNSD Japanese singles. Yeah. So SNSD, one of the big groups, they have like Korean discography, but then they also did like they promoted in Japan as well. So they have Japanese songs. And a lot of people
Oh,
actually said that they think their Japanese discography is better, but it definitely is very different because it's very EDM heavy a lot of the times. Well, it's a toss up too. I feel like it depends. But yeah. That would be a good
it
one.
would be messy but hilarious.
That would be
I know
honestly.
Yokoya. Yes, what's going on here.
That would be fun. We actually tricked you. This is all an elaborate setup. I pretended that Twitch didn't work so we could wrangle you on the show. Yeah. I'm a
She
crook.
wanted me to see how I felt about Daily Dose, and she's like, "There it is. We got him, boys."
I'm a crook. But yeah. So yeah. Yeah. So that's maybe something we could do in the future. But in the meantime, I think it would be high time to stop holding Break hostage. Let him go so he can prepare for his stream. Promote your stream. Okay, we'll do that now. Everyone, thank you for coming. We're wrapping up the stream. Break. Any last words?
Oh God. Okay, my hands are up. We are. Well, I am, anyways. Well, if you still have any free time, I mean, I don't know what we're gonna be doing. I just know we're gonna have some multiplayer game. Maybe we'll quest. I'll see. It's either that or reading manga.
Mm-hmm.
I have to see how many people I can get and what's going on with it. But I will be streaming in the next like I would say maybe like 30 minutes or so. I
Okay.
need to eat something real quick. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm gonna be streaming over there on Twitch under the same name, the Breakmaster. So if you want to come by, say hi, appreciate it a lot. So
Yeah, it's always a
yeah.
good game. I actually don't have work tomorrow for the first time in a while, so if you guys do play some multiplayer game, I'd be excited to play over there. Twitch won't let me stream, guys, so I'll just be through osmosis, through Break stream. You'll be able to see, but um,
She'll be there.
yes. Oh, and thank you, Leanne. Yes, next week will be the final Ouran High School Host Club week, guys. We finally got to the end. We're only doing season 1, which we've deemed the first 13 episodes. So, yes, next week for Anime Club, we will be watching episodes 11 through 13. And I will update on when I drop my schedule on Sunday. I'll let you know whether I'm going to be on Twitch or YouTube. Um, yeah, it's a work in progress, but I'll make sure I make that clear on that schedule. We'll see if Twitch ever even lets me in. But this is actually my last schedule of this week, so I won't be seeing you guys till next week. It's a short club episode. I mean, it's a baby week, baby stream week. But yeah, thank you, Break, so much for coming along. I hope everyone had a
Of course.
great time, especially to everyone who's new for Anime Club. I hope you found it fun. I hope come through next time. Thank you for everyone. Thank you for everyone coming through, and I will see you guys next time. Oh, and also, it's important to make sure you're here next time because every episode where we finish an anime, we vote on the next anime. So if you want to have a hand in
Yes.
picking what the next thing we watch is, you gotta be there. So we do that after we discuss towards the end, end. But yeah, you gotta be there, guys. So I will see you guys next time. Bye. Thank you for
Breakout.
coming.